Welcome back to yet another bullshit podcast. This is Jeremy, and I'm here with Dalton as always. How your week been, Dalton?
It's been an interesting week for sure, brother. It's been an interesting week. We'll get to why. But I mean, really, I haven't been doing too terribly much. Trying to write some new guitar riffs. I wrote a couple new electronic songs, and been doing my Let's Play for the JRPG Report Patreon. So other than that, it's been nice. I beat Half-Life, but we'll talk about that on the Steam Machine podcast.
Oh yeah.
What about you, man? What you been up to?
Yesterday I had what was quite possibly the worst customer experience I've ever had in my store. Like, it's up there. So I'm going to tell this story. Me and a couple buddies hanging out in the store. It's, kind of quiet. Guy comes up to the door. Well, I have a sign on my door that says mask recommended. It's been up for like a year and a half, whatever. I don't enforce it. I don't give a shit about it. I don't wear a mask when I'm in the store anymore. It's whatever. So dude goes back to his car, gets a mask, comes back in the store. Whenever somebody walks in the store, I say, hey, how's it going? Anything I can help you find? Completely ignores me. Walks through. So the way my store is set up, I used to have a game lounge in the back where people come like pay to play video games. Yeah. That closed during COVID, but I don't have any use for that space right now. So it's kind of just empty space. Walks through all the way to the back of the store through where there's nothing at. So I say again, is there anything I can help you find? Ignores me again. Starts walking back up to the front. So I'm like, is there anything I can help you find? And he like looks at me. He's like, is this a retro game store? And I was like, yeah. And he like rolls his eyes and is like, ugh. And walks over. I was like, can I help you find anything? Just like that. Like, this is the fourth time I'm asking you, fucking spit it out or leave. I'm like, is there anything I can help you find? He goes, well, I was looking for GameCube. Or he's like, how can you call this a retro game store? I was like, what are you looking for? He's like, I was looking for GameCube games. I'm like, well, we have a few on this shelf. They're super popular right now, so they sell pretty quickly. He's like, I don't know how you can call this a retro game store. At that point, I look at him, like, put my hands up. I'm like, this is a store. And then I'll point at the shelf with my hands. I'm like, those are retro games. And he's like, I drove 40, like, gets an attitude. Like, I drove 45 minutes to get here. I'm like, sorry, if you live that far away and you're looking for something specific, you should probably call first. He's like, oh, I should probably call first. I'm like, you know what? Have a good day. He's like, and just like marches out of the store, right? Never once actually looked at anything on any of the shelves. He literally walked in to bitch and complain. Like, he didn't pick a fucking game up. He didn't look at the actual GameCube games we had. Literally fucking came in to rant and rave. So I tell my buddies are like, what the fuck was that? I was like, the funny part, the door was still about a foot open. I was really hoping he heard me. I was like, man, I wanted to punch him in his fucking face. And apparently he didn't hear me because I was like, he'll be leaving a bad review soon. Let me pull it up so I can read you verbatim the review he left. Let's see. And it's a doozy too.
Fuck people like that. I just want to say.
Dude, yeah, like, I was pissed about it until I realized, like, I actually went on and looked at all the 10 reviews he had left for stuff. And literally, he had one 5-star review for, like, a Hong Kong restaurant that I'm assuming he likes a girl who works there, or it's a family friend's business or something. But he's like, his review for mine is, this might be the worst game store I've ever visited in my life. It's a quote retro game store that has maybe 200 games in stock. They advertise Atari to Switch, but you can't really claim that when you only have one title for each system. Another blatant lie. Because how can you say I have 200 games in stock and then say I only have one game for every system? It says the owner was rude, and even though they asked you to wear a mask to come in the store, he wasn't. Like I said, I got short with him because he was literally shit talking my store to my face. And like, I am not going to sit here and listen to your bullshit. He says, I don't know how this place is in business unless it's a front to launder money. And I'm like, I was pissed about it, but like, I don't attack people when they leave shitty reviews for my store. If I can answer in a professional manner, I will. Like, if they address legitimate concerns, I will answer them in like a professional manner. But I'm not going to go in there and be like, this guy came in my store, did not actually look at anything, just opened his mouth and started bitching about stuff. But then I click on it. Like I said, he's got 10 reviews, all are 1 to 2 stars. He literally left a 1-star review for the IRS office. He left a 1-star review for 2 different Wendy's because one of them, he ordered a large fry, but they didn't have large fry containers, so they gave him like 2 or 3 small fry orders. That was worthy of a 1-star review. So I was talking to my mom last night, but I was like, I realized this is one of those people that he's just fucking miserable in life. And he's like, I just need to share this misery with as many people as I can.
Misery loves company, good sir.
Oh, yeah. And I tell people, like, owning a retro game store, I own the only retro game store with the next closest one is about a 45-minute drive. So, and you know, hobby stores like this, reviews aren't as important. Because if you visit a town and you're super into collecting retro games, and there's 3 stores in that town, you're just going to go visit all of them. You're not going to look at a 1-star review and be like, oh, well, this guy said the store wasn't good, so I'm not going to go there. Like, you're just going to go visit it. And I've been to places before on vacation. I've driven, like, dude, when I went to Ireland, I took a €50 cab ride because I didn't realize how far the place was to visit a game store. And they had like 1 game I was looking for. That was it. But guess what? I didn't go in there and be like, I can't believe you don't have more inventory. This is bullshit. I talked to the guys for a while, you know, like had a good conversation with them and left. That's just what you do. You take that gamble when you drive somewhere to check out a new store.
And not only that, it's like, how is it the owner's fault about stock when they probably have what's available?
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean?
That's what Jen was saying. She's like, how can you get mad at a place like I'm able to order this shit from a warehouse and have it in stock? It's like, that's not how this works. I get people all the time that come in, they're like, well, when do you expect to get more copies of this game? I'm like, I honestly don't know. It could be later today. It could be 8 months from now. I don't know. It all depends on when somebody has a copy of that game and says, you know, I don't want this anymore. I'm going to go sell it to the game store.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, what the fuck, man? Like, it's like, do they want you to go and buy these like $200-$300 games and then turn around and charge, you know, enough that you would make a profit from it and make it worth your time?
Exactly.
And then they'll bitch about how expensive it is.
Yeah, that's what I told a buddy of mine. I was like, I could have had the complete GameCube collection in stock, and this type of person would have just bitched about the price or bitched about, you know, I wanted this game, but it doesn't have the manual, or, oh, the case is not in good shape. So this is like, he came in with the intention to be belligerent. So that's why when I realized that, I was like, you know what? I'm done talking to you. Have a nice day. Like, I'm not going to sit here and get in a shouting match with you so that you can go online and say how I cursed you out and I did all the stuff that I wanted to do and I refrained from doing.
Yeah, well, good on you. Good on you for holding your tongue.
Oh, yeah.
Because I might have told him to go fuck himself.
I wanted to so bad. And what's funny is, like, I have dedicated customers to my store. I have people that literally come in sometimes every day of the week. But, like, there's people who shop there. Those are the people I'm concerned about. Some dickhead who lives an hour away and only leaves 1 and 2 star reviews for every business he visits. I don't care if I prefer him to never come back to my store because I don't want to deal with his ass anymore.
South Park did a whole episode about people like that where Cartman was a Yelp reviewer.
Yep. Dude, like, I've got a handful of negative Yelp reviews. My buddy that owns a comic book store has a bunch. If you look at Yelp, the only people who use Yelp are people that like to bitch and complain about stuff. I don't even know people who use Yelp to read reviews for businesses. Like, I couldn't tell you one person I know in real life that says, I was going to visit this business, but I looked on Yelp and their reviews were pretty bad. So,
yeah. And it's, I see the same thing on Steam where some of these games that get put on there where, like, there will be a bunch of negative reviews, people complaining about the dumbest things, and then you'll see people give positive reviews like, I don't really see what all the negative reviews are about. Like, the game may not look the best, but I mean, it's fun. Yeah. You know, but people find one thing to focus on and decide to just shit all over it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Or you'll have those people that are just like, say they ask for a review copy of the game and the people were like, who are you? Why would we give you a review copy? So then they go intentionally leave a bad review on the game because they didn't get a free copy of the game to play. Just stupid shit like that. They're always out there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not to even mention fucking review bombers.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole other world of douchebags.
Yeah, I looked last night, I've got like 118 Google reviews, and I'm still at like a 4.5 stars. So somebody looks on Google, they're not going to read every review. They're going to be like, oh, the store's got 4.5 stars. Yeah, I'll go check it out. But that's what I was like, one other shitty thing that happened was, I want to say it was Christmas before last, Christmas Eve at like 8:45, I had a voicemail from a girl. The voicemail literally goes, are you fucking kidding me? Your website said you would be open, and I drove 45 minutes to get here, and you're closed. This is bullshit. This is so fucking unprofessional, and like hangs up. I'm like, if you're going somewhere on Christmas Eve and you're going to drive 45 minutes to get there, maybe you should pick the fucking phone up first and call and make sure somebody's going to be there when you get there. Because
really,
I close at 8 o'clock on Saturday night. I close at 7 o'clock through the week and 6 o'clock on Sunday. So no part of the week at all am I open at 8:45 at night, especially on fucking Christmas Eve. Like, I got a kid at home. I'm going home spending Christmas Eve with my kid. Like,
I don't have a kid, and I want to be home early on Christmas Eve. So
exactly,
yeah,
like, we talked about it at the store. It's like, so many people are so fucking entitled now that it's like, if you work in retail, you serve them. I'm like, this is my store. I don't give a fuck if you have $60,000. If you come in here with some bullshit, I'll fucking send you away. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's not my job to deal with your bullshit. In my store, the customer is not always right.
Well, I was about to say, the customer is always right. It's such a boomer mentality because it's just not that way anymore. Like, maybe back before the internet, when people couldn't just go and complain about every goddamn little thing they wanted to, about whatever, maybe appeasing the customer, because back then it was your local people, what I'm saying? But now the fact that somebody in Seattle could hear about your store and you might have a game they really want, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go there. But if they don't call you, okay, I'm just going to use this as a scenario, and they don't call you and say, hey, I live in Seattle, I'm going to be out that way, I want to come get this game, please put it aside for me. Now, if I were you, I'd be like, okay, and I'd put it aside for like a week. If he didn't show up, then...
Well, what I tell people is I do same-day holds. If you call me and say, I'm coming later today, I will set it aside for you. But say you live in Seattle, you're like, hey, I'll be out there next week. You have this game I really want. I'll say, okay, what's your email address? I will send you a PayPal invoice. You can pay it with your credit card, your PayPal, whatever. Once you pay it, I will put that game on a shelf in the back room until you're able to come get it. And I have people do that all the time. They live like, 30, 40 minutes away, or they work, and they'll send me a message on Facebook and say, hey, I saw you put this game out. I really want it. I'm like, okay, you want me to send you a PayPal invoice? They're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, do you want me to ship it, or you want me to just hold it for you? They'll say, oh, you can just hold it. I'll come this weekend and pick it up. And I send them a PayPal invoice. They pay it. I set it aside. I don't care if it sits there for a year. It's paid for.
Yeah, because it's paid for. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, in that situation, there would be no, like, a lot less of a chance for something negative to happen. But just these people now that, like, I don't know where I was going. I'm high, but I was just, they're entitled, and it drives me fucking nuts.
Oh, yeah. It's like this guy, if he had picked the phone up and said, hey, I live about 45 minutes away, I wanted to come out and check the place out, how's your GameCube selection? I would have said, oh, we only have a few games because they're super popular. They sell really quick when we get them. And that happens all the time. People call and ask questions like that. They'll say, do you have any Pokemon games? I'm like, sorry, we don't have any. Every time I put them out, they sell the day I put them out.
Yeah.
He could have avoided his 45-minute drive, probably in his mom's Toyota Camry, and like avoided this whole issue, but he decided to drive out blind and check the place out, and then it was my fault that I didn't have the inventory he wanted. Like he said, we probably have between 200 and 300 games in stock. I keep my prices at what you can buy the stuff for on eBay, because that's a competitor for me. That's a competitor for everyone now in hobby stores. Because if I have the game for $100 and you can go buy it for $50 on eBay, why would you buy it from me for $100? It doesn't make sense. So I keep my prices low. I have dedicated customers looking especially for hot stuff like GameCube titles. So they will call and they say, hey, I saw you put out Wind Waker. set it aside for me. I'm on the way to get it. Stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
And
when they're people that you know,
yep.
like you see them like on a weekly basis, that's a lot different too.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey man, I'll be there later today. Okay, yeah, man, I'll show you.
Yep. And then like I have one friend that her son collects, collecting all the Forza games. So I had like 2 of the Steel books and one of the games he didn't have. And I told her, I was like, I'll just set them aside for you. And it was like a month and a half before she got up there. But I'm like, she's going to come buy them. She's not going to fight me on the price or anything. So I just set them aside for her. Like, I don't mind doing that for people that actually come shop at my store and spend money. But like, for you to just show up out of the blue without calling, without checking, like not even looking at anything in the store, just walking in and being like, this isn't the Walmart of retro game stores, so this place fucking sucks. I was expecting 20,000 square feet of games to look through.
I'm such a different person because so the only game store locally, and I say local with quotes, is in Palatka, which is about a 40-minute drive from here. Yeah. And it's GameStop, right? I mean, it's nothing special. It's not, but like me and my buddies would ride out there, and I can't tell you how many times we've gone to GameStop and left with nothing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But like we just enjoyed the ride, and then we'd go find a restaurant and get a sandwich or something, and like they're make a day of it. Just don't be that fucking asshole who's like, I'm just gonna go do this. If it doesn't go the way I want, then I'm just gonna piss and moan. Fuck you. Yep. I hope that dude's tire went flat.
Yeah. Like I said, I hope he borrowed his mom's car without permission and got grounded when he got home. Like I said, I mean, it happens. Retail is retail. Like, you're going to have shitty customers. Luckily, being a specialty store, most of the people who come there are looking for something specific. But like, I had one guy come in. I bought the business 3 years ago. When I bought the business in April, we moved it in July, I think. So I put up posters everywhere. I put up paid posts on Facebook so people would see it saying, if you have any store credit with the previous owner, bring it in before we move, and I will either, I said, I will switch it to my store credit, and then you don't have to worry about it. You can keep it as long as you want. Or the guy that owned it before me said up until, the end of March, if anybody brought store credit in, he was just going to give them cash for it. And I was like, so this was probably 6 months between the two of us. So I had moved the store, and I had been moved for like a year. Guy comes in the store looking for 2 Wii remotes. I'm like, all right, yeah, I got some. And he pulls out the other guy's store credit. I'm like, I'm sorry, we stopped accepting that like a year ago. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, that was from a previous owner. I didn't get the items or the money that you got for that store credit. We only honored it until this date. Because he wanted to spend like, Wii remotes were like $40 a piece. So he wanted to spend like get $80 of merchandise for nothing, basically. And I was like, I'm sorry, it's unfortunate, but it's how it is. And I'm like, I can offer you a discount or something if you want instead. He's like, well, I didn't bring my wallet in. Let me go get my wallet. And just gets in his car and leaves. I'm like, dude, you went into a store and didn't even bring any fucking money in with you. Like, you haven't been to this store in at least a year to a year and a half minimum. Like, fuck off. I don't want you coming in getting shit for free, because guess what? That tells me once you get that free $80 worth of shit, you're never going to come back in there because you don't want to actually spend any money. So, like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, I have people that have a bunch of store credit now, and say my business was to close down, that store credit's not going to be good anymore. You're not going to be able to use it anywhere. You're not going to come to me. I'm not going to be like, oh, let me give you money for it. I'm going to be like, fuck off. You should have used it while the store was open. So I had one guy comment on something I posted, and he was like, man, y'all never get good. He's like, y'all never get the stuff I want. I got like $200 in store credit. I'm like, sorry. Like, this is based on trade-ins, and you know that. I have no control over what inventory comes in the store.
It's just like people just don't fucking understand that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Do they expect you to go thrifting every day or something?
Well, that's the thing, that you can't even get stuff that way anymore because, it got so popular over the pandemic. Most of the thrift and Goodwills and stuff have raised their prices astronomically, which I don't blame them for. They're a business. Why sell something for $2 when you can sell it for $400? Yeah. And that's a whole nother topic. There was a guy on Facebook bitching about Goodwill had a copy of like Gotcha Force or something, some GameCube game that was super expensive. I think it was Gotcha Force. And it was on auction on eBay because now Goodwill stores have an eBay store they sell all that expensive shit on. He was bitching about Goodwill charging almost retail for the game because he used to be able to go there and buy games like Gotcha Force for $2 and then he could sell them for like $400. And I was like, dude, how are you mad at a business because they're selling stuff at a reasonable price? And
they found your game out, man.
Yeah. And he's like bitching. He's like, this is how I make my money and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I make my money selling games. I'm not mad about it. I said, that's a business. And I said, and your example's horrible because they put that game up for auction and the auction went up to this price, which means people were willing to pay this price for it. They didn't put it on eBay and list it for $500. They put it on for like 99 cents. If it had sold for 99 cents, they'd have shipped it out. They didn't set that price. The market set that price. You're just mad that they're getting the money instead of you. And that's bullshit.
Yep.
But like I said, it goes back to, like we said, people are very entitled now.
Very much so. And people suck and they're idiots.
Yep.
I will say that like the games that I tend to look for in thrift stores, I honestly around here, I don't find them as much, but I've heard that like because I like PC games.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? They're a little less collected, I feel like, than like older console games, especially like the Super Nintendo and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, granted, there are some PC games that are worth a absolute fuck ton of money, but you're not going to find, for every one like that, there are 3 on the Super Nintendo that are worth $500. You know,
yeah. Dude, that puts me kind of on another topic. One of my buddies had a comic book store. He closed his physical location and just does online now, and he's sharing a space with me in the store to like list his stuff and take like collections in and stuff. Dude, some of the shit he's buying, like in a previous episode we talked about that Nerf football that was worth like $80-$90.
Yeah.
Dude, he's been getting a lot of toys and stuff lately. He got a 4-pack of wrestlers from like the probably the early 2000s. I think it was like John Cena, like Stone Cold, like that era of wrestling. So it's like a big 4-pack of figures. Fucking thing sells for like $150 on eBay. I'm like, dude, it's 4 fucking like 7-inch tall plastic action figures. Dude, literally it was a sealed box, like never been opened. I look inside of it and I see something. I'm like, what is that moving around in there? I swear to God, there was a mouse turd in it. Inside like the plastic clamshell that held the figures in place. I'm like, that is a Chinese mouse turd right there that's been in this package for like 20 years. And it's like somebody's gonna pay $150 to put this on their show. Like pop figures that came out, the WWE line that came out like earlier this year, later last year. Say he sold a Scott Hall pop figure for like, I want to say he said like $50 or $60. That just came out. Like,
dude, it's insane. The figures collecting, has gone through the roof, and apparently trading cards have too.
Oh yeah, trading cards are starting to die down a little bit, because I've noticed going to like Walmart and Target, I always look because they're supposed to be F1 cards, and you know how I am about F1. So I keep looking for those. I'm like, if I could find a box, I'd buy them. I think they would be cool to just open and look at. Never find them anywhere. But like it used to be football and basketball, the day they put it out, somebody was there waiting for them to buy it all. I've seen them sitting there for weeks at a time now. So I think that market's finally starting to die down a little bit. Pokemon cards have died down. You can find those everywhere now.
Yeah, which makes me want to buy some, because now that they're more available, because like the prices will go down a little bit. You know what I mean? Then I'll thing is dive into that nostalgia.
My kid liked them, and like it's fun sitting there like opening packs of cards and just, oh, what did I get? It's like all the fun is in opening it, because once you open it, it's just stuff laying around your house. Yeah. But like the blind boxes, all that stuff, it's fun to see what you get.
Yeah, Courtney, shout out to Courtney. She shared a TikTok channel with me, I think it was, it might have been YouTube. It was one of it too. Or it was just this channel where like these dudes, you buy boxes of Pokemon cards from them, and then they open them on stream, and then see what you get, and then they mail it to you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they do. One of my buddies does that. They call them breaks, where basically instead of you buying a complete booster box for $120, they sell. Usually, I think they do it by the type. So, like, somebody can buy a fire type, somebody can buy a grass type, water type, whatever. And basically, once you sell all the different types, can't remember how many they are. I know there's more than 10, but for simplicity's sake, say 10. So instead of you buying a $120 box, you can buy one particular energy type for $10 or for $12. So that way, once all 10 hypothetically are sold, the person selling the cards gets their whole $120, and then they open the packs, and whatever energy types you get those cards. And I mean, it's fun to do that. I used to do it with football cards, where you pick a team and then you get the cards out of the box, where like it might be a $400 box, but there's 32 teams, so you can say, oh, like $12 a team or something like that. Yeah, they make their money off a $400 box, and I only get the cards I wanted out of the box anyways.
I was curious when I was watching this particular video at how much the person they were opening for had spent, because it was all for one. They made sure to keep saying it was all for this one person, and there was about a foot long box of cards, and then there were like packs of booster packs, and then there was a whole set box, and I was like, dude, that person dropped $1,000 fucking on Pokemon cards, and these people are just sitting here opening them for them. Like,
probably not that much, because like I said, a booster box it's about like this big, but it's 36 individual packs in a box.
Yeah,
and that's about fair retail price is about $100 to $120 depending on the set. You've got people out there that's trying to sell them for more. Like I said, a fair price for a box, because I bought them wholesale and sold them in my store, about $100 to $120. So you get 36 packs, and then each booster box has like you're gonna get like one like super rare, like ultra rare full art card or whatever. Then you get like one of those in a box. You get like so many rares in a box, and stuff like that.
Holographics. They have reverse holographics now. Oh yeah. Like there's so many different kinds now of Pokemon cards that it's just like holy shit.
And like to me, I always like Pokemon cards because I love the art on them. I think the art's really cool. I never got into Magic, even though Magic has really cool art on their cards, but I just never could get into it. Same with Yu-Gi-Oh!
I have friends who are really into Magic, so I've got some decks, you know what I'm saying? And dude, there are some beautiful artwork on those cards.
Dude, I used to date a girl she had brothers who were twins, and they would play Magic, and we went to visit their parents in Indiana one year, and like they had some friends come over from their childhood, and they were all sitting around playing Magic. So I was like, I'll hang out and watch, and I watched them play for like an hour. Still had no fucking idea what was going on. I was like, I can't get into this. I'm not gonna be able to keep up with it.
Yeah, it took me a while, and unfortunately, or I guess fortunately and unfortunately, so of my 3 friends who were really into Magic, 2 of them were really nice and helpful, and one of them just liked to really fucking beat you, right? Yeah. And I will never forget when I finally beat Josie. I was like, you son of a bitch, middle finger to you, I win. And I never played them again.
Nice.
I refused. They're like, no, we're playing again. I'm like, no, I won. We're leaving on that. And that made them so mad. Dude, mad. It was so sweet. I just savored it.
Dude, when Trivia Crack was still like a big mobile game,
I remember that. Holy shit!
I was working at the plant, and some of the guys in my department got super into it. I had played it way before then because I love trivia stuff, and I deleted it off my phone. So I was like, fine. I was like, I'll re-download it. I'll make a new account. So I make it. I start winning, and like these dudes are challenging me every day. Dude, I won 20 matches without losing any, and I told them when I got to like 15-0, I was like, if I hit 20-0, I'm retiring. And like I hit 20-0, I was like, that's it. Deleted the app off my phone. They were so pissed. They were like, no, download it again. Download it. I want to play you. I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm walking away. I'm 20-0, undefeated, undisputed champion of the glass plant.
Yeah, it's nice to have those little victories.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's just wonderful.
That's the thing is my head is just full of useless knowledge that I have not figured out a way to monetize.
Brother, I feel you.
Because like I feel like I could go on like Jeopardy, but like I'm not that smart. Because like I watch those people on Jeopardy. I'm like, holy shit, how do they know all this stuff?
Oh, dude, yeah, Ken Jennings. I'm no Ken Jennings.
No, I'm not. Like those guys make me look like I should be wearing a helmet and drooling all over the place. Like I just have a brain full of useless knowledge.
I think I've told this story before, but the same person who was like really adamant about beating people at Magic was the same person that I played in Soul Calibur 4. Oh. We had a bunch of my friends sitting in my house, and I had created a character, and I was playing through the story mode or whatever they had for Soul Calibur 4. So I had unlocked some armors and stuff, and the way it worked is like your outfit and your custom armors could give you more stats. So I had like 3 bars of health.
Nice.
And they were just bragging about how good they were at Soul Calibur 4. So I said, let's play. So I said, we can use customs. They're like, that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Let's do it. So we played, and I wiped the floor with them.
Nice. We
played again. It was a little closer, but I won. Then we played a third time. I wiped the floor with them again. They stood up, turned off the Xbox, and walked out of my house. Immediately, came back in, slammed the door, said, fuck that, we're playing again, but we're doing no special armors or anything, just regular characters. I said, okay. So I picked my same character, but we did the mode where none of that stuff matters. It's just aesthetic. Yeah. And I won, and they got up, they turned off the Xbox again, they got in their vehicle, and they fucking left, and I didn't see them for a week and a half.
Dude, I want to say I went to a concert, and then I went to a barcade with my buddy Justin. Call him Granddad because he was always older than the rest of us in the friend group. So he loved Street Fighter. But like now, granted, he had a few drinks at the bar. He's like, let's play Street Fighter 2. So I always picked what's his name? What's the green dude? Blanca or whatever.
Blanca, yeah, Blanca.
So I pick him because I think he looks cool. I don't know shit about Street Fighter. I've always sucked at it. I don't know the moves or anything, but I figured out the control for like him to do that electric shock attack that he does.
Yeah, buddy.
So basically I did that and it knocks their character back. So I just ran up to him and did it again and then ended up like pinning him up against the corner of the screen and just shocking him until he died. Like, dude, he got pissed because he was like, that's bullshit. You're just doing the same. I was like, sorry, I don't know how to play the game. And like I beat him like 3 times in a row, and he was like, "Oh, let's play something else."
There is nothing. Well, I should say there is almost nothing more entertaining to me than watching someone who is really good at a fighting game get beat by somebody who is button mashing, because they get so fucking mad because they have put so much time into learning how that game works, and when someone just comes in, I don't know how to play, and they just beat them by pressing stuff.
Yep.
That is such a glorious thing to witness.
Dude,
every
it used
time.
to happen to me as a kid because like I had Mortal Kombat and I took the time to like learn how to do the moves and combos and stuff. And then like my dad would come in there and just button mash and beat the shit out of me. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this isn't fair.
Oh man, I had a buddy. Well, so the opposite of that, I had a buddy of mine. You couldn't do that too. Literally, he played Tekken so much. He got to the point where he could play as King on Tekken and using one hand, he would beat you with a 10-hit grab combo that you could not block. Nice. And there was just nothing. As soon as he started it, you were dead. He was homeschooled, so he had a lot of time on his hands. So that kid, I remember watching him beat his brother at Tekken using his feet.
Nice.
I'm like, bro, you should play some other games.
Dude, there's a guy on YouTube I watched. Like, I don't follow him or anything, but I watched the video he did because he had a Killer Instinct cabinet. Apparently, he's like a Killer Instinct YouTuber. And he has a Killer Instinct cabinet. He's like, I'm going to see if I can beat the entire gauntlet only using one button. So, like, the joystick and one button. So, he's like, he picks his character. It's he's like Bulwark or something, the boxer guy from Killer Instinct. Yeah. And just like one button beats the entire gauntlet and wins the game just using one button. I'm like, dude, I can't do that using all the buttons. Like, if you put my opponents at half health the whole way, I probably still wouldn't be able to get all the way through it.
You know, it's funny. Killer Instinct, I always have like a soft spot for that game because there used to be a local death metal band that I liked. That their name was Full Gore, which I think was a character in Killer Instinct.
Yes, yeah.
And
I think he was like the werewolf or something, or
I believe so.
or the robot guy or something. I don't know. I'm sure there's like fighting game people listening to this going like, you fucking idiots. Ah.
Yeah. Did Killer Instinct evolve into Bloody Roar, or was that just kind of like a different thing?
Bloody Roar was a different thing, yeah. Because Killer Instinct, they made one, probably
recently,
6, 7, 8 years ago, yeah. Because they kind of made it like you could get the game for free and you only had like 2 characters, and then you could pay for DLC to get like the rest. Then they put out like a gold edition that had all the characters and stuff. So but it's an Xbox property now. So
okay.
Which is cool because on Game Pass you've got like the original Killer Instinct 2, like the arcade ports of it, and you've got the newer one on there.
I need you to check Game Pass for me for Xbox, because I know it's not on PC. Because they have the old Rare Replay stuff on there, right?
Yeah.
Is Conquer on that motherfucker?
No.
Damn.
No.
God, I cannot, dude. Okay, go ahead.
Conquer is one of those that like it's an odd property. They don't really do reprint stuff of it or anything for some. I don't know if it's like the voice acting contracts or something, because I know Rare owns it. Rare owns GoldenEye, but the reason we've never seen a GoldenEye like remaster or whatever really is because you had Rare, who had license for the game, but then you had, I think it's MGM has the license for James Bond. Then you had since they used the actual faces and stuff, you had all the actors and actresses had rights to the game too. So to remake that game, you have to get rights from like a ton of different places. And so they're just like, it's not worth it. I think at one point, somebody was not playing ball. It was either Rare or MGM was like, we're not signing off on doing it. Supposedly, since Xbox owns Rare now, supposedly they've gathered all the stuff and they're making a remake of it on Xbox, which if they do that, I think it'd be pretty fun. I mean, the campaign was decent on it. It was nothing to really write home about, but the multiplayer was where it was at back then. And I think if they modernize that a bit, make it better controls and make it online multiplayer, it could be like nostalgia level amazing.
Now, here's my argument for that. Well, okay, first and foremost, let me cover Conquer real quick, and then I do have an argument. And it's not really an argument, really, but anyway, you'll see what I mean. So, I never played the original Conquer's Bad Fur Day on Nintendo 64. Yeah. I had the one that came out for the original Xbox.
The Live and Reloaded.
Conquer Live and Reloaded, and that game was awesome, dude. And there is no way to play it anymore that I know of, unless you own it and you have a backwards compatible Xbox.
Yep.
And even then, I don't know if that game is backwards compatible.
I don't know. I don't think it is, but I'm not sure.
I would literally get an original Xbox to be able to play that game again.
Oh, yeah. I had that game on original Xbox, and I had a complete in-box copy on N64, and ended up selling them both in the store. So,
oh, dagger to my heart. No, I'm just kidding. I get that money, bud. So, okay, about GoldenEye. They could remake a game that, in my opinion, took what GoldenEye, like the seed that GoldenEye planted, and made it better.
Yeah. And
they could not have to worry about all of that, all of the fucking licensing and all that. Dude, just fucking bring back Time Splitters. Like,
I'll go one further than that. And it's a controversial thing. It's a hot button issue when you bring it up. Perfect Dark was a better version of GoldenEye, but it didn't strike that lightning in the bottle like GoldenEye did on N64. Perfect Dark, like I even enjoyed Perfect Dark Zero on 360. I thought was great. That franchise, I was really good, like espionage, first person shooter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just didn't get the love that GoldenEye got. I don't know if it was because of the James Bond licensing or just they got that lightning strike of putting it out and people being like, holy shit, this is really fun.
Yeah.
But
I just feel like in today's age, okay, so like with all the wacky Fortnite characters and the Roblox stuff, right? There in Time Splitters, back on the PS2, like your characters that you could play as, you had normal characters, but then you also had like a mannequin with a fish bowl for a head that had a fish in it, a sentient fish. You had a demon little girl. You had a fucking monkey. You had a sentient big bear thing. You know, like there were so many wacky, ridiculous characters in Time Splitters that I really think that could do well these days. You know, I hate to say it because I really don't want it to be, but fucking make a Time Splitters Battle Royal game. Like, you know, just do something to get the money and people invested in it, so then you could have the money to make a new Time Splitters that's not a Battle Royal, and I would be happy.
You know what I would love to see, and I don't think it'll ever happen? A new Clay Fighters game. I fucking loved Clay Fighters. And
Clay Fighters was a blast.
That was such a unique game because it was all stop motion claymation made into a video game. And that just blew my mind when it came out on N64 that, like, holy shit, they actually made stop motion of every, like, action these characters could do in the game. And
didn't they call that Clay Fighters 63 and a half or something like that?
63 and a third, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they put out Sculptor's Cut, which was a Blockbuster exclusive. And it was the same game, but it had, like, I think 2 extra characters, and it was a lot more polished and smooth. Like, the frame rate was better and stuff, and it was far superior to 63 and a third, but it was a Blockbuster exclusive, so all you could do was rent it, and then when they sold them, now it's, dude, I had a copy in my collection I sold for $1,000 last year, just for the cartridge. So
that's wild, bro.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this week I decided to try something. I was bored and I figured let's just see how this goes. So I wanted to see if men are pigs on both sides of the spectrum, and I wanted to see if there were, you know, like what a guy can get as far as Tinder goes around here. So I made a Tinder profile and I made a Grindr profile. All right. Now, I just let them sit there for a week, and I would respond to people. And what I gathered, okay, is that I got 2 swipes. I got 2 matches on Tinder. One was somebody who I think lives in Asia somewhere, because all their profile was in a different language. And I did swipe right on everyone, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I did every day. I would just log in and I would swipe right on everybody to see. And I got a match with another girl who I like have been having very idle chat with. It's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like I'm talking to a machine or something. I don't know, it's very strange, right? On the other side, I have had a plethora of offers to get my dick sucked in my car. I have had a plethora of offers of coming to some random glory holes. And I've had a plethora of people who stopped talking to me when they went and read the profile and saw that, like, I was a big dude. They were like, oh, I don't like fat guys. So I'm like, okay, so it's not much different on either side, really, other than, like, yeah, men are absolutely still pigs.
So basically, regardless of what quote unquote dating app you're on, there's a bunch of thirsty ass horny dudes out there. And
exactly. Yeah. And that's what I was wondering.
And when you explained this experiment to me, I told you about a story I had read, and I'll explain that on the show. There was a guy, I forget where he was from. He did a similar experiment where I've always stood that apps like Tinder and stuff are almost 100% physicality based. What you look like is all that matters. That's what this guy wanted to prove. So he got pictures. He got one of his friends, that super hot dude, to agree to let him use his picture. Puts his picture, I'm talking like 6-pack abs, nice full hair, just good looking dude. But in the profile, he puts down that he's a convicted child molester and that he's getting ready to go to jail for, like, beating his girlfriend or something like that. Dude gets, like, buku responses. And women are on there saying, like, well, that's okay, because, you know, we all make mistakes. I'd still like to hang out with you and stuff. So, like, they're literally saying, and he's telling them in the message, like, yeah, I got arrested for having sex with, like, an 8-year-old or something. Like, something fucking absolutely disgusting. And these women are like, well, you're hot, so that's okay. I still want to have sex with you. And it's like, dude. And what's funny is when he posted this shit, he didn't blur these women's names or pictures or anything. Like, these are fucking garbage people. But, like, since this dude is hot, doesn't matter what he did. And like you said, meanwhile, like, I know you said you put your pictures on the Tinder profile. You didn't put any on Grindr, right?
No, yeah, no. I just put my descriptions on Grindr. Yeah. I did have a couple people ask me for a picture, and I like send them just like a selfie I took in the mirror, and half of the people I would send a selfie would stop talking to me.
And that's something. My thing is like I've done online dating in the past, and like I'm not the worst looking guy in the world, but I'm not a male model either. Reigns. Yeah, I'm no Roman Reigns, but just I don't. And funny, when I was single before I met, I think I had just gotten divorced. So I'm single. I'm hanging out with a female friend of mine. She's also single. And I was like, yeah, Tinder sucks. I was like, I don't get anything on it. She's like, what are you talking about? So she shows me her Tinder. She has like 258 unread messages. And she's like, a bigger girl. She's very pretty, very well put together. She takes care of herself. But like 258 unread messages. She's like, she's like, I'll swipe right and it'll be a match like every single time pretty much. I was like, here, I handed her my phone. I opened Tinder. I was like, swipe right on everybody you see. And she sat there and swiped right until she ran out of profiles and didn't get a single match. And I told her, I was like, that's because if I had a picture of me up with like abs out and shit, I said, I'd be getting matches left and right. But because I'm on there being honest about myself, who I am, what I look like, all that, nothing. Fucking crickets. And dude, she gave me her phone because some dude messaged her and was like, I want to say he sent her a dick pic or he asked her if she wanted to meet and fuck or something like that, which dudes, fucking stop. That shit does not work. But like, she hands me her phone. I was like, let me talk to him. So I'm like, how big is your dick? And he said something like 10 inches or something. I was like, that's it? That's all you got? I was like, I don't fuck anybody with less than 12 inches. Like, dude, just fucking sit there and just talk mad shit to this dude until he finally stopped responding.
Why is everyone's go-to 10 inches? Like, that's like, that's a lot.
There's not that many 10-inch dicks out there. And like you said, most women don't really like a gigantic fucking dick. Like they don't want a 12, 14-inch dick.
No, dude.
From what I've been told from female friends and stuff.
From personal experience, and I'm not speaking by length, I'm speaking from girth. Like, some girls are like, oh shit, that's gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fucked one girl and tore her pussy, and I didn't mean to. You know what I'm saying? It happened. And we never fucked again because she told me my dick was too fat, and I'm like, man, it's not my fault. And that's not me bragging. Like, that's actually a problem that I have sometimes, where it's like, but that makes me glad though that like I'm not one of these dudes who's a knee knocker like my buddy Lyndon, because that motherfucker, from the girls that I know, that shit hurts their cervix and stuff. Like,
I mean, there's stuff in there once you get past a certain depth, and like you're sitting there slamming 15 inches into it, you're knocking shit inside of her around and stuff.
Yeah, fucking hey, dude, I feel bad for him. But yeah, my experiment basically proved what I was thinking, is that dudes are fucking perverts.
Yeah, dudes are horny and thirsty as fuck.
Yeah,
like dude, I've never sent a dick picture to a woman who did not ask for it. Like if I was talking to a girl, flirting around and shit, she asked for it, okay, sure. But I'm never like, oh, let me open a conversation with a picture of my dick. Because dude, I've talked to women that I know, they're like, dicks are not pretty. Like they're not, like if you just send me a picture of a dick while I'm driving or sitting in my office, it's not going to turn me on. She's like, I'm going to be like, ooh, this guy's fucking gross, and I'm going to just block you.
Yeah, it's very, like, I've had girls ask me, like, let me see it. But that's... You don't just send it. And like dudes who do that have ruined a lot of good things for like normal people.
Yep.
So on this semi subject, I have to tell this story. So I went on a date with a girl one time, and it went good, and we had, hung out a few times, and she comes over this one time. And this was the last time I ever saw her. And this was not on my account, but kind of on my account. Like you'll see. So we're hanging out, and I say my back hurts, and we had just got done I think having sex, and she was like, oh, I'll rub your back for you. So she sits down on my back. I'm wearing my shorts with no shirt on, and she starts rubbing my back. Well, she gets up, when she's done, she gets up off me, and she's staring at me. She's staring at my ass, right? And I just looked at her, and I just thought she was like looking at my ass, that's whatever. And she doesn't say anything. So we get up and we lay in bed and we cuddle and we go to bed. We go to sleep. So the next day, like, we wake up, she gets her stuff and everything. She needs to go home, so I take her home. I come back to the house and I go and I start playing my video games. Now, I have these big blue pillows that are like body pillows, right? And they're both on, she had like made up my bed, so they're both on my bed. So I'm playing games and stuff. So like it's like hours later, I'm doing something and I move one of the big blue pillows and there is like I know listeners, you can't see this, but there's probably like a grapefruit about.
Probably so.
About that big of a circle of blood on my bed. And I'm like, okay. At this point in my head, I'm like, I had been to the grocery store with my mom and stuff, and I go into my bathroom and I turn around and I look in the mirror at the back of my shorts, and there's just this crusty blood stain on the back of my shorts that I had been walking around with all day.
Man.
And I was like, okay, for one, I'm sure she was embarrassed and didn't want to say anything. But if you're a girl and you're listening to me, if that happens, just tell me. Exactly. Like, I'm not going to get mad. Like, it's a natural thing that happens. And I understand that there are probably guys out there who would handle it differently, and that's probably why she didn't say anything. But the fact that I had to find it and then she never talked to me again, I was like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, that's kind of shitty. Like, I mean, like you said, it's a natural thing. It happens. Like, just be like, oh shit, I'm sorry. And you'd be like, what? And then... okay, I'll go throw these shorts in the wash real quick.
I have feminine product stuff in my bathroom for when that happens to my female friends and they're over here. Like, just tell me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
guys, always keep some pads or tampons in your bathroom of your bachelor pad. The lady you have over will appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Under the cabinet, have you a little stash of feminine hygiene products.
That being said, don't leave them out in the open. And don't... No. Like, I don't know, it's weird because like if some women will go in, see that there's feminine products in your bathroom and be like, oh my God, do you have a wife or a girlfriend? You have me over here cheating? It's like, no, that's for your use. Like I had the employee bathroom at my store. I put a trash can in there and I had a female employee at the time and I was like, hey, this is your trash can. I was like, I have no reason to throw stuff away in the bathroom. Just know there's a trash can in the bathroom if you need it. Because you have wrappers and whatever else you need to throw away. So I'm going to make sure I provide that. I was like, I always told my employees, if there's anything you need, let me know and I will figure out how to get it in place for you. So I'd rather you be like, I need this and I get it for you than you just go without and be upset without saying anything.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. It's like when I worked in the grocery stores in the female bathrooms, they had the... like in each stall there's like a metal box with a bag in it, and like that's what that's for.
Dude, so, speaking of, I was telling this story the other day about how gross some people are. I worked at a place called Adventure Island when I was 16. It's like a putt-putt arcade.
I know Adventure Island. Yeah.
And dude, I got sent into the women's bathroom to clean it one night, right? Some chick had taken her tampon out and laid it on the seat of the toilet. And just left it there. Like, that is the most disgusting fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Well,
why?
It's close to most. I'll tell the story of the most disgusting thing, but that was more funny. This was just gross. But yeah, dude, working in places like that, I've realized women are far grosser in public bathrooms than men are. We might piss in the floor from time, because ladies, if you don't know, sometimes when you're a guy, the hole in the head of your dick will just like partially glue itself together. And you go to piss, you'll be aiming at the toilet and it'll spray the wall and you're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And you gotta try to like aim it. It's like it doesn't always just 100%.
I always give the head of my dick a squeeze before I piss for that exact reason.
The best thing to do is like stretch that hole or squeeze it or do something, break it up a little bit. It's just a natural thing. It happens, but sometimes you'll get two piss streams going out like a V. You'll get the fucking Contra spread attack where like you just shit's just spraying in a fan. But to tell the grossest story, went with some friends to the lake one time and we're going in the bathroom to change. So my buddy's with me, goes in the first stall. So I go in the handicap stall, right? Go in there, and I'm not lying to you, Dalton. From the front of the toilet bowl across the seat, up the tank, and then about 5.5 feet up the wall is just shit sprayed. Like you sprayed it with a fucking hose. And I was like, what the fuck? And my buddy's in there. He's like, what? I was like, come in here and look at this. He's like, what the fuck? And the only thing I could think of, did you watch the Chappelle Show?
Yeah.
Do you remember the slow motion episode where he was saying like stuff's cooler in slow motion? And he's like, some stuff's not cooler in slow motion. He's like, here's me taking a shit. And he's like, just shows him taking a shit. He's like, here's me taking a shit in slow motion. It's like him taking a shit and then like he just like rockets off the toilet and flies across the room. That's what I imagine this person did. They shit so hard they literally like propulsed themselves off the toilet and out of the stall. Cause like it literally looked like a 6.5 foot guy went in there, turned around, bent over, spread his cheeks and just went, but like, dude, the funniest part of it is one of the maintenance guys was outside and my buddy knew him from high school or whatever. He's like, yo, he's like, come in here. And he comes in there. He's like, hey, look in that back stall. He goes and he's like, fuck this shit. I ain't cleaning that goddamn shit up. Fuck this. Fuck that. I'm going fucking home. Fuck this place. Like, he just fucking storms out of the bathroom. And I don't know if he fucking quit or what, but he's like, he was not cleaning that mess up.
I have a fucking similar situation. When I was working at Harvey's, I got called into the women's bathroom because the handicap stall, there was shit on the toilet, on the tank of the toilet, and on the wall next to the toilet. And I looked at the person who called me in there and I said, dude, I'm not cleaning that up. And they were like, you're the bagger. That's your job. I said, I will go the fuck home. Yep. I was like, I will add vomit to that pile of shit.
Yep,
I was like, it ain't gonna fucking happen. And they ended up making somebody else clean it up. I don't remember who. It was another bagger, but I was like, dude, I'm not fucking doing it.
I got that. Shit I can deal with. It's I can't deal with throw up. The kid, the dog, whatever. I can't deal with puke. And when I was working at Adventure Island, we had one of those indoor play place things with the ball pit and the little tunnels you crawl through and stuff. Some kid had went in there and puked all over the place. And they told me, they were like, we need you to go clean it up. I was like, first off, I was like 6 foot something, over 200 pounds. I was like, I'm too big to be crawling around in there. Second off, I don't do puke. I was like, if you want me to clean that, consider it my resignation. I'm going home. And they were like, no, we'll get somebody else to do it. Like they got somebody else to cleanse. I was like, I can't, if the kid is shit everywhere, okay, I can handle that. For some reason, I cannot, like you said, I would go in there and I would just add to the pile and then fucking leave.
Dude. And I have this vivid memory in my head too of back, first of all, you say throw up in a ball pit?
Yeah. So you got to take all that shit out, wash all those balls in like diluted bleach, clean the whole area out and put all that shit back.
Okay. Yeah. This is not as bad as that. When I was at home and it was me and my buddy Adam and, we were playing guitar together and at the time I had a dog named Isis and she was like old and, not doing so well. And I think she needed to go to the bathroom or go outside. And I said, okay, so let us play one more song and, I'll take you outside. Took a sip of my drink, which was just a glass of water, and I set it back down on the ground and we started playing guitar again. That dog walked over to my glass of water and diarrhea shit in my glass of water.
Oh my God.
And me and Adam both went, oh God. So we're both trying not to throw up. I'm trying to clean it up. I'm fucking dying. So I let Isis outside. She goes out there and finishes her business or whatever. I was just like, oh my God.
She was like, I'll show you to drink a glass of water when I need to shit.
That's exactly it. She was like, I'll fucking show you, motherfucker. You make me wait. Oh, dude, it was just so perfectly timed that I wish I had filmed it as gross as it was. Because it would have made a fucking brilliant YouTube video. Yeah, dude. Oh, fuck. I missed that dog. She was a good dog. Okay, so another topic that we have here. What movies and TV shows like absolutely just scared the shit out of you when you were a kid?
I've been thinking on this, and I can't really think of a lot that like scared me as a kid. Because like we watch horror movies and shit, but they were on cable, so all the really good stuff was cut out of them. But I'll let you take the reins of it and see if I can think of anything.
Okay, so as far as TV shows, I can remember this one particular episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh yeah.
And which is weird because of how much I love vampires now, this might have been like the seed of that. there was an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark where they like go to this theater to watch like Nosferatu or something. Oh, yeah. And something happens and the vampire comes out of the screen and they start finding people dead with just bite holes in their neck. And it scared the fucking shit out of me as a kid. I couldn't handle it. I was crying and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure if I went back and watched it now, it'd be cheesy as hell and I'd laugh at it.
Oh, yeah.
But when I was younger, that shit terrified me. And I was around the same age when I went to a buddy of mine's house who lived next door to my grandparents in Jacksonville. And his name was Gage. And we watched Pet Sematary on VHS, so it was completely uncut, right? And that little fucking baby who stabs his mom to death and bites the throat out of that guy. Spoilers for Pet Sematary. His name is Gage. So Gage thought it would be funny, and people wonder why I'm fucked up now. Gage thought it would be funny to then, after the movie was over, just start blankly staring at me, and then walk to the kitchen and got a knife and just started walking slowly towards me with the knife and like swinging it towards me. And I'm like 7. Oh yeah. 8. I was fucking terrified. Once I finally got away from him, like I went home to my grandparents' house and just like had a meltdown. But like fucking A, bro, it was terrifying. I'm scarred from that shit. There was a lot of other shit I went through with Gage that I won't get into on the show, but like fuck that dude.
I wasn't a kid. I was like 19 or 20 when I watched the Dawn of the Dead remake. And like it didn't really scare me, but I would watch it at night, and I lived in the country, right? So I watch it, then I'm laying there trying to sleep, and like the trees are rustling outside and stuff, and you're like, it just gives you that fucking eerie feeling like fucking there's zombies outside. So like, let me turn on like Family Guy or some shit and watch this before I go to bed. Oh, brother,
dude. I have another vivid memory of something very similar, dude. I was at my buddy Neil's house, at his dad's house. Now, his dad lived in the middle of Interlaken. Now, I know you don't know what Interlaken is, but it's just like woods, right? So we're in this trailer, and his dad's like, you know what we ought to watch tonight? House of 1,000 Corpses.
Nice.
And I'm like 13, 14, so I was just like, yeah, sure, you know. We watched it, and while I loved that movie, at the time, it freaked me the fuck out, right? So I'm laying there trying to sleep. They've both fallen asleep during the movie, so I'm the only one that watched it all the way to the end. So I'm laying there, and it's now just looping the DVD menu loudly.
With fucking Captain Spaulding just yelling at you and shit.
Yeah, and I don't know how to turn it off, so I'm trying to sleep, and I'm like laying on this couch next to a window that has no shades or anything, so I'm looking out into the woods, and I'm just like, I'm gonna fucking die. And it's just fucking...
Dude, yeah. One funny story. I was like 19 or 20 still. I was dating this girl named Kristen. She's over at my house, like spending the night. So we watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm like, are you sure you can handle this? Because she was kind of a chicken when it came to that stuff. She's like, yeah, it's fine. So we watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Go to bed. Sleep. Behind my house was a warehouse kind of building that this guy rented out. The guys renting it were few Mexican guys that did those chainsaw sculptures, right? You know, the ones that take like a tree. So, dude, she's laying, my bed was up against the wall. She's laying against the wall. I'm on the outside of the bed. Dude, 6:30 in the morning, they fire those fucking chainsaws up. I never forget. I'm woken up because she literally just like levitate jumps over me screaming and like falls in the floor beside the bed because the fucking chainsaw's fired up. Dude, it was the funniest shit I've ever seen. Like, yeah, and she was like 4'11", and just like it just fucking springboards over me and just thumps in the floor. Oh, that same place I live was a shitty single wide, right? I had mice bad in that place because it was an old like 70s model single wide, just wore out. Just sleeping. I had one of those footboards. It's like the old like wood footboard with the little spindle across, the decorative spindle. Yeah, I remember I had my foot up on that and I'm asleep and I'm kind of like just asleep, you know, like I'm still kind of conscious of what's going on, and I feel like up my leg and like a fucking mouse is like walking up my leg, so I just like kick my leg and I hear a little thump against the wall. I was like, I was like, just done, nothing happened, just go back to sleep. Dude, fucked up part, I don't do snakes. I fucking hate snakes. But I had, mice to the point I set traps and shit. Like, I saw like several mice at once sometimes. Like nothing I did would get rid of them. All of a sudden the mice are gone. I'm like, stupid me is like, oh cool, maybe they moved out. Nope. I'm dating that same girl, right? I'm watching college football. Halftime starts. I'm like, hey, let's walk to the mailbox. Well, mailbox is like 150, 200 yards away. So I had this piece of like a countertop I propped the door open with because I didn't have air conditioning. So I moved that, closed the door. We walk to the mailbox, come back. I open the door and bend over to pick that countertop up to prop the door open, and she screams. She's really dramatic, though. So I'm like, whatever, she probably saw a mouse. I look up. There's a fucking, what is it? I think it's like a rat snake, the black snakes with like the white belly.
Yeah, black
this
snake.
Motherfucker
like a black
is
racer.
Inside my house, across the doorway. He's like 6.5 feet long. He's probably like this big around in the middle, like fucking a small pancake. I'm like, I don't do snakes, so I'm like, what the fuck? And I go over to my neighbor's house and I'm like, hey, I need you to come get this snake out of my house before I burn the whole place down. So she comes over, or they come over. She's like animal rights person. So she's like, don't kill it, don't kill it. I was like, no, I want it dead. I want its family dead. I'm like fucking going full mafia. And like, she stops her boyfriend from killing it. It gets away into the woods, whatever. I'm like, dude, like, I had to work third shift that night. So I was like, I ain't sleeping here. It's whatever. I'll be at work all night. She left, went back to her parents' house. She's like, I don't want to be here by myself. She was kind of small. Like that snake might could have ate her if it tried to.
Dude, I don't do snakes either.
I fucking hate them.
I like looking at them like at zoos and stuff, like when they're behind glass, because I find them very interesting creatures, but I don't want to hold it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even want to look at them.
My ex-girlfriend, one time we're at her house. I'm laying in bed. I think we had like just had sex or woke up or something. Anyway, she was in the shower. She comes running into the fucking bedroom, naked, soaking wet, and I'm like, what the fuck? And she goes, there's a fucking snake in the bathroom. And I was like, oh. So my heart immediately starts pumping 1,000,000 miles an hour because I'm the man of the house. I have to go do something about this, but I am fucking terrified of snakes, right? I'm like, okay. So I go in there, and it's a baby snake. Like, it's curled up. It's about this big around, curled up. Like, so about how big around as your snake was in width was my entire snake in a coil. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. I said, I need you. And she's still buck-ass naked. I said, I need you to get me a big Tupperware. I said, okay. And get me a folder that is not going to be flimsy when I put it under. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She goes, okay. So I got the Tupperware thing, and I'm looking at this snake. And it's in the corner. So like this was a walk-in shower type thing. So it was like in the corner between the wall and where the shower started. Yeah. But this was a square-ish Tupperware thing. So I was like, okay, so I got it over the snake and I kind of wiggled it around a little bit and got it in there. Right. Yeah. And this snake is now going fucking nuts inside this Tupperware thing, moving around, trying to bite. So I'm holding it there and I'm like, got this fucking folder, and I get that folder up under it and I'm holding this fucking snake. And I said, go open the door. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to throw this as hard as I can, and I will pick all this shit up later. Yep. She goes, okay. They lived on a lake, right? On Lake Santa Fe. So I just went out there. I took it, and I threw it towards the fucking lake. And then I ran back inside, and we shut the door. Yeah. And then I found the area by the front door that had been not sealed good, and I sealed that motherfucker immediately. Yep. But she had taken pictures of it. So she posts some online. Turns out, it was a baby moccasin. Now, for those of you who are unaware,
those of you who didn't grow up in the South,
if that snake would have bit me, this show would not be happening right now. I'd be fucking dead. Yep. Because babies can't control their venom release, so that baby would have bit me and filled me with its entire supply of venom, and I'd be fucking dead.
Yeah, I had that talk with my kid the other day because he was talking about baby snakes. I was like, just understand, if a mama snake bites you, it's going to give you a little bit of venom. So, but the babies can't control their venom output, so they will bite you and they will empty their venom sac into you. And so you will die quicker from a baby snake than you will from an adult snake. So anyone out there who didn't know, that is fact. If a baby snake, venomous snake bites you, it will kill you faster than a full-grown snake.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And let me tell you though, I got fucked good that night.
Oh,
I was Mr. Savior that day.
Back to the mice in that single wide, right? I'm dating that girl Kristen. She's there too, and she was a very, very sheltered child. So I had to set a mouse trap in the spare bedroom, which is where I just basically had all my junk stored. So she's like, I want to do it. So I'm like, okay. So I show her how to set a trap, put the peanut butter on it. She takes it in there, sets it in the floor. She's all proud. We go in the living room, and it's like the old school wooden mouse trap. So, you hear them if they go off. So we're sitting there, we hear that pop and start hearing it flop around, right? And she's like all excited because she got her first mouse, right? We go in there.
Until she saw it.
No, we go in there.
Oh.
It's worse. Go in there. In the trap is a mother mouse. I'm talking nipples hanging and everything. Sitting next to it is this teeny tiny little like kidney bean sized mouse just staring at the mom. Me being the asshole that I am, I turned to her and said, "What did you do?" She fucking starts like hysterically like bawling, crying. Like, dude, I was like, it's a mouse, it's fine. Like, so like, she's freaking out because she killed the mom of at least this one baby. This baby saw it. I don't know if there were more babies set.
I will say that's sad.
Yeah. I said, being the dick I am, I just fucking like laid it on her thick. So I go get like a box and a piece of paper and like sweep the little baby mouse in the box, and he's like jumping around. I take him outside and I'm like, this is your one opportunity. It's like, go the other way. Do not come back in my house or I'll put you in the toilet. And like dump him out in the grass, and he runs off. And I'm like, okay. I go tell him like he's outside. He's probably going to get eaten by a predator, but he's not my problem anymore. But I'm like, dude, she was fucking mortified that she killed this fucking mom in front of its baby.
I would have been too. I'm not gonna lie. I would have raised that baby as my own. I'd have felt so fucking bad. Really. Oh man.
Like this thing was fucking teeny tiny, and like the mom, like I said, still had nipples hanging and everything. She was still like feeding the babies, and she felt so fucking bad. I bet she's never set a mousetrap since then.
I bet not. All right, let's see. Well, we got one other topic before we get into the song of the week and then community questions. And I was just curious about this. What are some songs from games that just get stuck in your head and you can't get them out? And what spawned this is I was walking around my house today. I have not played this game in forever, but I was walking around just going la da 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 katamari damasi, oh la da 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 da, and I'm just like, why is that so fucking catchy?
For me, I've got a couple examples. One is all the like classic, like 8 and 16-bit, like the Mario theme, the Zelda theme, Sonic. Like if I hear even a little bit of it, I'll just be da 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 da.
Oh, bro, hold on. That one Sonic song. That yep. Oh my god, so fucking good. Okay, sorry, continue.
And then I don't know if you played Death Stranding. A lot of the Death Strandings, you started it. The first song that plays when you like walk out into the world is called "Serious" by Low Roar, and it's like the chorus is like, "Don't be so serious." Yeah. I'll get that song in my head from time to time. It's an absolutely like that's a song I will play if I'm like having trouble falling asleep. I'll just put that song on. That soundtrack is absolutely great, like just peaceful ass music. And I tell people, they're like, "Oh, that game is boring." I'm like, that game is peaceful as shit, because like you don't really even have to deal with enemies if you don't want to, because it kind of lets you know like where the enemy areas are, and you can just detour around them if you don't want to deal with them. To me, I saw an article yesterday, and I was like, I did the exact same thing. The guy was like, the game is so peaceful that I didn't even finish it because all I wanted to do was build the interstate system. Because basically, that's what I was about to bring up. As you go, like you can build bridges and roads and stuff. That's what I got obsessed with, was going to these little hubs and building the roads. Because once you build the roads, that game is fucking cake. You get in a vehicle and you just drive from destination to destination on a smooth highway. What's cool is as you build shit, like the acid rain and stuff deteriorates it, so you have to upkeep it too. But man, that game is so fucking fun.
Yeah, I was reading that article, and the whole concept of timefall.
Oh yeah.
Is some of the coolest shit ever, and I hope Kojima eventually makes a movie. And I say that because I was watching an outside Xbox live stream one time. It was like E3 or something that they were covering, and they were watching this. There was just this scene where it was Norman Reedus from Death Stranding, and he just walks into this room and he sees a box, and he gets the box down, and Andy is like, "Oh, Is this something to do with Metal Gear?" Oh, he's super happy, right? And then Norman Reedus sets the box down, and he just hops in it and squats down. He sits in the box for a minute, and then he gets out and puts it back up. And Andy goes, "What the hell was that?
Yep.
Just make a film already, Kojima! Jesus Christ!"
Like, yeah, it's I mean, technically the final cutscene in Death Stranding is like 90 minutes, so he's made a bunch of movies. They're just in video games.
Yeah, they're the endings of Metal Gear and Death Stranding.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
But like you said, it's the idea of timefall in that game was so unique. So for anyone who hasn't played it or doesn't know about it, when it rains in the game, there's something particular about the rain that everything it hits, it ages very quickly. So basically, if you're out in the rain, you're either wearing a protective suit or they have these timefall shelters you can go and hide under, and basically it keeps you out of that timefall. And like
you will die.
And it's cool because like when you're watching some of the one of the first cutscenes, you're like in the suit riding a motorcycle, and you see like it starts raining. There's birds flying beside you, and they just like turn gray and drop to the ground. Like it's fucking cool. I think like at one point in the cutscene, he sticks his hand out in the rain, and his hand gets all like wrinkly, like an old person. Yeah. Like that game is so fucking good, but it is a grindy ass game, and you're going to put a lot of time into walking around and stuff, so it's not for everyone, but it's a beautiful game. Like the graphics and the cutscenes are absolutely gorgeous. But
games like that, like when you're doing the wandering around and stuff, like if it's got the music for it, it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Like Oblivion, Skyrim, those games, a lot of times you're just kind of wandering, but that's those soundtracks that just play that keep you immersed, you know.
And I will say, because I know you haven't beaten the game, the whole game you're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I have no clue what's going on. But then once you get to that 90-minute cutscene at the end, everything's explained, and you're like, oh shit, that's really fucking cool. Like the bridge babies. The whole game, you're like, what the fuck are these babies that they're using? And then once you get to the end, you're like, oh shit, that makes so much sense. Holy crap. This is amazing. Like,
I need to get back into that.
Kojima is a hell of a storyteller.
I think the next time I make some money, I'm going to get the director's cut upgrade. Yeah. It's like $10 if you already own the game. So I might do that just for the upgraded fidelity and the graphics and yada yada. But
supposedly that stuff's not super different, but they added a lot of features. Like they've added like races and stuff like that, and all kinds of different things.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I was going to buy the director's cut. I was like, before I do that, let me put the game in and play it again, play a little bit of it, and see if I'm actually going to get my money's worth. Put it in, tried to load up my save file and play it, had no idea where I was or what I was doing. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it now, because if I do this, I'm going to have to start like a new game plus or something, and it's just not going to work.
Yeah. I feel that, man. I've done that with like I bought Persona 5 Royal and still haven't gone back to beat it.
Oh yeah.
You know. But yeah, dude, there's just some songs in games that really like catch me, and they get stuck on my like I said, the Katamari Damacy song. There was another Katamari game, and the song is in other Katamari games. It's called it's called Lonely Rolling Star. That was hard to say.
Sounds like a Kid Rock song.
There used to be a phone game that I guess was only around for about a year and a half, but I did play it for a while, called Tap My Katamari. And it was a blast. And
that sounds like a Kid Rock song too.
There was the version of Lonely Rolling Star on that game was fantastic, and now you can only find it on YouTube because the game's not there anymore. But it gets stuck in my head. Oh, lonely rolling star. It's just such like cheesy J-pop. It's just wonderful. And then, like, I know you mentioned the like Sonic and Mario and things like that, and the other games that I could think of that have music that just gets stuck in my head are Neon Falcom games, like Trails in the Sky. I can't remember the name of it, but there's a little acoustic song. I think it's like called like The Cat on the Windowsill or something like that. But it's this little acoustic song that plays every now and then. It's fucking beautiful. It gets stuck in my head. And then in Ease, which this is going to wrap us into our songs of the week, because this is my song of the week. Yeah. It's a song from the game Ease 8, Lacrimosa of Dana, and it's called Sunshine Coastline. And like after everything happens in the beginning of a game, and then you're on the island that the game takes place on, this is the first fucking song you hear. And it is such a welcome to your adventure, motherfucker type song. It's so good. So yeah.
Nice. So that's your song of the week. Mine I picked was it's a guy, I think it's pronounced Prof, like professor. It's a rapper. He's got a song called Bar Breaker that I've been listening to a lot lately, and it's just like basically braggadocio, but it's just the beat's really good. His cadence is really good in it. It's just a fun song to listen to, so that's my pick for the week.
Hell yeah. I'm sending those to the chat, so I'll remember to put them in the
yeah. Our memories are terrible, so
yeah. Yeah. So let's roll into some community questions then, my good sir.
Let's do it.
Coming from Cthusiast Expendable Jeff. If you were to go back in time and experience a historical entertainment event, be it a famous wrestling match, a historical race, a baseball game, etc., what would you want to go see?
So my first answer is the 2011 Canadian Grand Prix in F1. And it kind of sucks to say I want to go back to that because it like monsoon rained for hours during that race. So I'd be stuck in that. But like Jenson Button, I think he was in a wreck. He had like 2 flat tires and still came back to win that race. And it was just absolutely monumental. Like it made me a Jenson Button fan. So that's what I would want to go back and see in person, I think.
Oh yeah. Man, I've been thinking about this. Like there are a handful of wrestling matches that I really like to go back and see. I'd like to go back and see Hulk Andre.
Yeah.
I'd like to go back and see Macho Man Ricky Steamboat or Ricky Steamboat Ric Flair in any of their 3. And I would like to see like Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels when Shawn Michaels retired Ric Flair. But if I was going to pick a match and go back to see it in person and be there like front row, it would be, I think it was the first ever Hell in a Cell. If not, it was one of the first Hell in a Cells. No, it was, well, no, that's another one. But
that's
no,
one I would love to go back and see front row.
Undertaker Shawn Michaels.
Oh, yeah.
They had a balls to the wall fucking match, and it was so good. Going back and watching it, those two are masters at what they do. And I would just love to be able to go in there and just watch that psychology take place as it's going on. Now, for the spectacle of it, yeah, Mankind versus Undertaker probably would be the show to be at.
I think if I could stand in that corner where like the barricade comes and then like shuts out for where the announcers tables are, if I could stand right there in that corner and see him firsthand go crash through that announcers table, I think that'd be awesome to see.
I could picture you leaning over the barrier just being like, you should have shaken my fucking hand, man. Yeah. You should have shaken my fucking hand.
Like, this is what you get. You know what you did. You know what you did 20 years from now?
Yeah. Oh, one day you'll fucking know.
Like he's laying in the rubbish of the table, and I like jump the barricade, lean over and whisper to him like, you're going to meet me in like 20 years. You better shake my fucking hand.
Oh God, that'd be so funny. But yeah, I mean that, I think that would be wild. I also think it would be wild to see the match that where Triple H tore his quad and then finished to the rest of the 20 minutes or so with the match. Yeah. Like, God damn.
I might add my one horny fuckboy one too. Go back and see. There was a band. What were they called? Like Tutu or something like that. There was two.
Oh, Tattoo.
Yeah. I'd go back to one of their early concerts and sit front row because apparently they got in a lot of trouble because they were a lesbian couple and they would break out into full out lesbian sex on stage in front of the crowd during concerts. Like, if I could be front row for that, that'd be kind of cool.
Fun fact about that band, that was a complete act. Like, they weren't actually lesbians, and but they played lesbians on TV, like doctors. Yeah. And apparently when people found out that they weren't really lesbians, there was like a huge backlash about it.
My thing is, if they were actually having sex on stage, I mean, that makes them something.
Yeah. I would like to go and see the Rammstein concert that got them banned from playing in America for 10 years.
Nice.
I don't remember if it had to do with pyro or what, but I know that they got in trouble for indecent exposure because during one of their songs in their old set list, Buch dich, which means bend over, it's a song about domination, BDSM, that style of stuff. He would go over to the keyboardist who had a dog collar with a leash on it, and he would bring him to the front of the stage, and he would unbutton the back of his onesies to expose his ass, and then Till would unzip his pants and reach into his pants and pull out a Whizzinator that was attached to a thing that sprayed beer, right? And he would start hitting the keyboardist on his ass with this fucking fake dick, and then he would turn to the crowd and start pissing on them with this beer.
Nice.
That was like warm beer. And he would keep singing, and they got in a lot of fucking trouble for that, doing that over here.
Dude, that's like, what's the fucking female metal singer that was doing the show and had to piss really bad?
Brother, that happened an hour from me in Jacksonville. That was Brass Against, and she pulled up some dude on stage.
She's like, I gotta piss so bad. Somebody get up here. And like, some dude climbs up on the stage, lays down, she pulls her pants down and pisses all over him.
Oh, she didn't piss on him. She fucking waterboarded his ass.
I was telling people, pissed all, like, there was a fucking half a gallon of piss probably.
Dude, at least 2 minutes straight of just piss stream. And I told somebody, like, in another Discord I was in, I was like, she straight waterboarded him with piss, legitimately. And they were like, oh, it couldn't have been that much. And I sent the video and they watched it. Everybody's like, oh my God, that was so much piss. I'm like, I know, dude. She must have been drinking all day.
People were talking shit about it. And I said, I defended her because I was like, she had to piss. She could have stopped the show and went somewhere to piss. She made the fucking boss, like 1,000 IQ call of doing this on stage, knowing it would be controversial, because guess what? Nobody had heard of that fucking band. And now she was on national news because she pissed on stage. Apparently, like, some of her bandmates were like pissed off about it, but, you know, better to be pissed off than pissed on. Like, my
thing is, bro, they're rock stars. That's what fucking rock stars do.
Yeah. Dude, fucking
they do wild shit.
Dee Antwoord, Yolandi Visser pulls her pussy out on stage almost every concert. Shows her tits, shows her crotch, like pulls her pants down and bends. Like, if it's part of your show, it's part of your show. Speaking of, I've got one more thing I would love to go back and see, and that is the first ever Marilyn Manson show. Because I was watching a little documentary about it, and it was some like music journalist was talking about. He's like, I heard about this show. He's like, I decided to go to it. He's like, I get there. He's like, there's all kinds of crazy shit. He's like, there's a topless lady with a like Nazi hat on, ironing a Nazi flag on the side of the stage. He's like, there's like freak show acts going on. He's like, apparently it was something to behold. The dude was like, this guy's going to be famous. And
yeah, Marilyn Manson was that shock rock, man. It's just fucking awesome.
Dude, seeing the way his stage shows are now, I can't imagine how that shit was when he was young and super energetic.
Yeah. Dude, when I saw him live, he did one song where he like rose up out of the stage and he was standing behind a podium that had two big lightning bolts on it. Yep. And I'm like, damn, son, that's pushing some fucking limits right there.
He did it here. He had like the thing come out, and it was like you said, it was almost like a pulpit podium, but it was like he climbed up on it, and like you said, had the fucking his version of the Nazi like S's, I guess is what it's called, but it was like turned into two M's basically. And like he's standing up there like a full on like priest outfit, like just singing a song.
When I saw him, he was singing "The Beautiful People." Yeah. And what was hilarious to me is there's the line in that song where he says, "Capitalism has made it this way, but old-fashioned fascism will take it away." Yep. And he's standing behind this fucking podium, and I'm just like, God, he's put so much thought into the artistry for his onstage stuff. Like,
dude, he did one at one of the shows I went to. It was an outdoor amphitheater, where he's like on all four, like four, arm and leg stilts, like way up off the stage walking around. Oh, yeah. Like, dude, he does a fucking awesome show, man.
That's for, I believe he does the dope show when he comes out like that.
I think so.
Drugs. They say made in California. Yeah, it's good shit, dude.
Oh, yeah. All right, next question.
Yeah, let's see. Jeff has a question for me. Dalton, who do you think are the worst drivers? European luxury SUVs or Honda drivers? I'm biased on this because I have a buddy who drives a Honda and I shit on that car any chance I get, so I'm going to say Hondas.
See, around here at least, anybody who drives Lexus, BMW, Audi, Mercedes, like crossovers, small SUVs, are the most entitled and the worst. Like, I fucking had prime example this morning. There's a fucking Audi behind me. They changed lanes twice to get around me and took like 4 turns before they went a direction I wasn't going. Never once used a turn signal. Like, they're just entitled and they're fucking hard. They don't look when they change lanes. Like, it's just, they'll park almost always on the line of a parking spot. You know what I love to do when I see they parked on the line on the driver's side? I like to take that spot next to them and get as close to their car as I can so that they're not going to be able to open their door when they come out. And it's like, if you parked in the middle of your parking spot, this wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah. Ow. Fuck. I just hit my tooth on the microphone. Yeah, I hate people who fucking do that.
Dalton got horny. He tried to deep throat his mic.
Oh, goddamn. That hurt like a motherfucker. Yeah, dude. Around here, like, everybody who owns a Honda thinks they're a fucking street racer.
We get some of that up here, but it's not quite as
annoying
bad.
As fuck. It's just like, bro, you're fucking. My lawnmower has a deeper roar than your fucking car.
Like, dude, the ones I love about like the Hondas is when they take a factory Honda Civic and put like an AutoZone muffler on it, so it's going wee, but they're not moving at all. You're like, your car is making all this noise, and I like about to honk the horn and be like, get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. People are fucking dumb.
Yep.
Okay, Cody wants to know, floats or shakes? This is easy for me.
Neither for me. I don't like milkshakes. I'm not particularly fond of floats either. When I eat ice cream, I usually just eat ice cream.
I'm going shakes. Floats are good. Shakes are better.
When my mom was pregnant with me, I think she said she drank like a gallon or a gallon and a half of milk a day when she was pregnant with me. So even when I was a baby, I was not a huge fan of milk. So
yeah. My mom swears that's why I don't like saltine crackers all that much, is because she just lived off of those when she was pregnant. Okay, here's a question that we can answer, but we'll probably never get heard by the person who asked it. Steph wants to know, how do I clean my controller properly?
So it's funny she asked that, because like right before she asked that, Facebook group I'm in, somebody had said the same thing about their PS5 controller, said the buttons were sticking. The first thing I said was, do you eat while you're playing, or do you eat before you play and don't wash your hands? If you're playing video games, always wash your hands first. It's the best thing you can do for your controller, because you just got a bunch of what we call hand cheese, where it's just grossness on your hands that gets in the seams of the controller, gets down in between the buttons and stuff. You can, if you want to be lazy about it, get like a toothbrush and some really high percentage isopropyl alcohol and just stick it in and basically just scrub the shit from around the buttons and sticks and stuff. The best thing to do is to disassemble it and just clean all the buttons and stuff with isopropyl alcohol. Try to get at least like 91%. You can buy it, like a lot of pharmacies and stuff will have 91%. If you go to the hardware store, you can get 99%, but it usually comes in like a big tin container, so you had to pour it into something smaller. That's what I do, because I've got a few alcohol bottles at the store, so I just bought the big jug and I got a funnel. Whenever my bottle goes low, I just fill it back up with that 99%. That stuff is fucking strong. Like, it's just, even you open it, you're like, whew, like, this is tough. But that's what I do at the store. If I get controllers in that are sticky or just nasty, I'll take it apart, take the buttons out, I use a makeup like pad. So the little like pads women use for makeup removal, they're little like square ones with ridges. put some alcohol on, and I'll just take the buttons and just wipe them really good with alcohol, sit everything out. If you're not sure how to take your controller apart or you're scared you're going to mess it up, there's a company called Extreme Rate. They sell like replacement controller shells and buttons, and I think I showed you, like I did the Samurai PS5 controller. I've got a Great Wave Switch Pro controller. They sell those custom shells, but then they sell like replacement buttons in different colors and all kinds of cool stuff. They have a YouTube channel where they show you how to like install their products, and they're extremely thorough with how to take it apart. Like, they literally put the screwdriver in the screw, pause the video, and show you a little curled arrow of which way to turn the screw. Like, that's how thorough they are. So, I've done it before at the store, to turn that video on and kind of like watch them do a step, pause it, do that step, unpause, watch the next step. That's the best way to do it, because especially PS5 controllers, there's little ribbon cables that go to like the headphone jack and the microphone that if you take it apart and that falls out, you're never going to know where it goes. So that's the best way, is just watch a professional do it and follow as long as they do it. But to get it cleaned really nice, that would be the best way to do it. So if it's just like dirty, or like if your thumbsticks are really grimy, a toothbrush or a makeup pad and some alcohol, you can just wipe it off and then just either blow on it or just, wait for it to dry. Do not, apparently, I don't know why, but do not use compressed air like computer duster. Don't spray it down like in your joysticks, because apparently it's bad for them. I'm not sure why, but I've been told by industry professionals you're not supposed to do that. So,
if you'll share that link with me in the chat, then I'll put that in the show notes too.
I'll find one of the PS5 controller videos. But like I said, if you just go on YouTube and search Extreme Rate, just the 2 regular words, and just look at their channel, they've got shit for everything modern at the very minute. Like, they've got videos on how to take apart Joy-Cons and all kinds. So if you have Joy-Con drift, you can actually fix it with like a little piece of index card or something, and you can watch their video on how to take it apart, put that little index card in, put it back together, and fix the Joy-Con drift. So,
hell yeah. Holy shit balls. There's been some sort of Freaky Friday bullshit happening, and you two guys have leapt into the other bodies, but only for 24 hours because, well, them's the rules. So, what is one thing that you're going to do over the 24 hours to make your co-host's life better? And after being so nice, what is one thing you do to sabotage them completely? And that comes from Phil. Oh, Philly G.
So, if I took over Dalton's body for 24 hours, what would I do to make it better? I don't know. Maybe try to get you a job, or I don't know.
Good luck.
Help you record an album. Far as fucking Dalton over, if I knew it was 24 hours, maybe at like 29, 59, just get the biggest dildo I can and stick it up your ass. So as soon as you come back, you're just coming back to that.
Oh, that's not nice.
Dalton comes back. He's like, "Oh, I'm finally myself. Oh God, what is that?"
I have to poop. What is this feeling? Okay, so if I was gonna get in your body with something positive that I would do, I think I would like make you a big list of like nice things about you, and I would write it and I would put it next to your workstation and next to your computer and stuff, so you would have to read that. And I mean like where you could not remove it, so you'd have to read that motherfucker or paint over it, right? So every time that you were going to do something, you could be like, if you're feeling like you're a piece of shit or something like that, then you could look over and see that and be like, well, okay, well maybe I'm not so bad.
You vastly underestimate my ability to ignore shit.
As far as fucking you over, I would look through your store inventory and pick out a few games that I really like and then send them to myself for free. Like,
you have something to do while you're recovering from your ripped anus.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, it's Mortal Kombat Trilogy, perfect in box. Yes, I'll take that. Is this Knights of the Old Republic? Take that. Is this Conker's Bad Fur Day, complete in box? So it's worth. I think I'll just add that too.
Maybe I would also maybe instead of the butt thing, maybe go in
now I'm
and
gonna
like,
take your guitars, motherfucker.
like right at the end, attempt to log into all your accounts and get them locked out for 24 hours. Just cut Dalton off from the world for a day.
What do I do? It's like that Twilight Zone where you have all the books in the world, you're the only person left, and you break your glasses.
Yep.
No.
Like when your kid brings you your iPhone, it's like look, and they show you where they've attempted to open your iPhone and have locked it out for like 134 hours.
Fucker, little fucker. All right, the one from Courtney. What is your most prized possession?
I've been thinking about that too, because like I don't have a lot anymore. I got rid of most of my stuff. I am particularly proud of, I have a really, really like mint in box copy of Snow Brothers for the Game Boy. That's really cool. I have this t-shirt I've had since like middle school, when South Park, you know, when you went to the beach and like there were stores that just had a wall of South Park t-shirts and stuff. I have a Kenny McCormick t-shirt that like, it's ratty as fuck, but I keep it in a drawer. And I told Jen when we moved in together, I was like, this shirt is ratty. If you throw it away, I will likely kill you. I was like, this is something I've had since like middle school. I do not ever want to, like, I don't wear it, but I never want to get rid of it. It's just tucked away in a drawer. And like, so that'd probably be that. It's not like expensive or cool or valuable or anything. It's just something I have that I don't want to get rid of.
Yeah. Hold on real quick. Speaking of Kenny, listeners won't be able to see this, but
nice.
I have this Kenny bowl that an ex-girlfriend bought me.
Nice.
I think my prized possession is probably going to be my Jägermeister guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Just because that was such a cool moment in my life, winning that on that main stage of that festival. But like, I'm also still, like, I still have my Sega Master System games from when I was younger.
Nice.
And my original Nintendo cartridges. So like, I'll hold those near and dear. Phantasy Star, I still have Phantasy Star, and that thing has gone up $20 over the pandemic as far as it's worth. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I'll keep holding on to that one, see how much it goes. And then I have Kevin Smith's book Tough Shit that's signed by him.
Oh yeah, I've got that book somewhere, but I don't think mine is signed.
And it's a great book. I have the audio book too, but
I do have an autograph and a picture with John Witherspoon. He's passed away now, so I hold that near and dear too.
Hell yeah. One that I have that was actually gifted to me, but like I'm gonna keep it forever, was Ryan, my buddy who used to do the Steam Machine podcast with me. Yeah. Him and his lady Corinne got me the final book in the Vampire Chronicles. It's called Memnoch the Devil, right?
Nice.
It's my favorite book in the series. And they found it in a consignment shop or like a thrift store type thing, and they opened it up, and it was signed by Anne Rice to somebody named Christine.
Nice.
And Ryan, when he hands me the present, he goes, "Okay, I want you to open this, but your name's Christine now." And I was like, "What? Why?" And I opened it up, and then I was like, "Oh, dude!" And then he said, "Open the cover," and I opened it, and that's when I saw that, and I was like, "Oh, I am Christine."
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, I have that now. It's over on my bookshelf.
Maybe she signed it to the car, and then the car ran her over.
Well, she is dead now. She did die last year.
Well, there you go. So see, she signed it. She signed it to Christine. Christine ran her over.
All right. This next question comes from Chris. Can a man have bad sex?
So I wasn't 100% sure what direction this question was going. So I'm wondering, like, can a man be bad at sex? Which
no.
Obviously, I'll say obviously with that, yes, there's dudes out there that are bad at throwing dick. I think it was more towards like, can a woman be bad in bed, and can a man have an awful experience having sex with a woman? And absolutely, I've had a bunch of them.
Yeah, that's the way I thought he was going too.
Yeah.
And 100% you can have bad sex.
If you have not had bad sex, count yourself lucky.
Listen, I've been with girls that no matter what position we got in, and like I was talking about earlier, like I'm not lacking, right? And no matter what position we got in, I couldn't find traction in that motherfucker for nothing. It was just like stabbing air, and it's just not fun. You get tired before you bust a nut, and God forbid that like y'all were fucking partying and maybe you guys took some fucking painkillers because you ain't busting a nut. Yep. All of that sex is going to be for her. You get to try to jerk off later and have a heart attack trying to do
that. I've had a couple of them where I'm trying to think of a nice non-sexist way to word it, but like they kind of, their body doesn't regulate their juices. So like when you get in there, it's like just sloppy and gross and great. But then about like 30 minutes in, it's the fucking Sahara Desert. Like they just basically use all the juice at once, and then there's nothing left, and you're in there like popping condoms and stuff because there's just nothing. There's just friction and heat.
Yeah,
that's pretty rough.
I had a girl that I dated who almost had like the opposite of that. Like, dude, she would get fucking wet, son, and stay wet, and it was just like
that can be just as bad
down there.
Yeah,
and it was like, and it not like it did, like it wasn't like a scent thing or anything like that. But it was just like, yeah, sometimes like you need a little bit in the middle. Like sometimes there's too much lubrication. Bit of friction, yeah. It's like I challenge any dude to load your fucking hand and dick up with lube and jerk off and see if it feels good. Because it's like at a certain point, it's just too slippery to feel anything. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, to answer your question, dudes can absolutely experience bad sex. And if you're one of those guys that's like, oh, any sex is good sex, you probably think any pizza is good pizza too. All right. We got two more questions. What's the weirdest place you've ever had sex in? That comes to us from Santos Lopez.
I'm going to let you take the reins on that one for now.
So I was with a friend of mine. Well, she was my girlfriend at the time. And I guess we didn't have sex because I've never really had sex in weird places, but my dad was doing a DJ gig for a wedding that was going on at this church in Gainesville, and me and my girlfriend were out in the truck waiting for them to get done, and she sucked my dick while we were sitting outside in this church parking lot. So I mean, like, there's that.
I want to make a ladies' man reference. It's just be like, in the butt.
In the butt.
But no, like, I've never done really, really crazy stuff like that. Not sex, but when I was in like middle school, I finger banged this chick in the backseat of her mom's van while she was taking me home.
Yeah, bitch. So that's like a rite of passage.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's probably the craziest thing I have.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other weird places, and I mean, I've done it like my ex that I just, my most recent ex. The kids were outside playing, and she yanked me into the outside laundry room area and shut the door and was like, we need to have a quickie right now. Nice. So like we were just like in the laundry room outside. But that's about it. All right, final question comes in from Jeff, and he wants to know, if you saved the planet, what would be on your hero's list of demands?
Money to start with, lots of it, because I don't want to have to do anything else.
Yeah.
Something cool, like I'd want like Ferrari's hypercars they make. You can't just go to a Ferrari dealership and say, I want one of these. You have to be invited to buy one from Ferrari. So I'd be like, I want like a Ferrari Enzo or like a SF90 or something crazy like that. I don't want to have to pay taxes anymore. But I also want people like Elon Musk to have to pay taxes. That's like fair. Places like Amazon have to pay taxes.
Churches have to pay taxes.
Yeah, churches have to pay taxes. Like, I don't care if you have church, but if you're making millions of dollars at that church, you need to pay taxes on it.
Yeah. If you're a church that's pulling in just enough to keep the lights on and stuff, you're fine.
Like, maybe I'm trying to think. Maybe like more seasons of Mission Hill. Like some TV show that I love that's canceled. I'm like, no, we're bringing this back. I don't care.
That's
like,
fair.
I saved the planet. I want more Mission Hill.
That's fair. Okay, so I think I would go money as well. I want to be set. I want to be set for life, and I want my family bloodline to be set for life.
Billions and billions and billions.
I'll agree with the taxes thing. make the rich actually pay taxes. And then I would make more of an effort towards global healthcare and feeding people. Now that I've said that, time to get greedy. So anytime I walk into a guitar store, I want to be able to pick whatever guitar I want. That motherfucker's mine. I walk into a game store. I see a game that I want. That motherfucker's mine. I walk into Best Buy. There's a couple TVs and a computer that I really want. Those motherfuckers are mine, right?
Here's the thing, though. If you have the billion, like $100 billion, that kind of works anyways.
Yeah. But I could spend that on other stuff, like buying random houses for homeless people. Or like shit like that. Like, hey man, here's $1,000. Go overdose. I don't know. So, whatever the fuck.
We're gonna solve this homeless problem one way or the other. We're gonna either house them all or kill them all off.
Yeah, or we're gonna give them enough money that they all just kill themselves with their various vices. But I think mostly I would just like want my family and friends to be set for life. You know what I'm saying? And if I had that much money, like my closest friends, like okay, so say I had. We'll put a number on it. $100 billion. Okay. Yep. We've already talked about how big that fucking is.
Yes. That's never having to worry about money ever again for 4 or 5 generations, at least.
I would give all of my closest friends like $1 million and be like, here you go. And if they were like, well, I can't accept this, I'm going to pay taxes on it and stuff. It's like, dude, I will cover the taxes. Yeah. You keep the money. I will pay the taxes on it. Like, so you get that entire $1 million.
Yep.
You know, or I'll give it. I don't want to give it to him under the table because if you just suddenly have $1 million, that can really cause some IRS problems.
My thing is like what I would do. Say I won the lottery, like instead of just writing my mom a check, I'd be like, "What house do you want to live in? I'll pay for it. What car do you want to drive? I'll pay for it. Tax papers come, bring them to me. I'll send a check in. Stuff like that. You know,
I'm gonna buy a big castle that has like 20 or a big ass house has like 20 rooms. It'd be like, y'all can come live with me if you want.
Yep.
Fucking
I'm gonna buy an island somewhere.
Bring your wife, bring your kids, dude. Just come on, let's fucking have a good rest of our lives.
They raping everybody out here.
That's the 3rd floor. They don't go to the 3rd floor.
Y'all don't go to the 3rd floor.
I got a passcode for the 3rd floor.
I got 2 more things I want. I want NFTs to be made illegal completely, and I want to be able to slap Mark Zuckerberg on national television. Like I just want him to stand there and I just get to slap the shit out of him as hard as I can, just because he has a very slappable face.
That he does. Speaking of NFTs, did you see the meme that Kana shared in the Discord where it said it was like a non-fungible trident? It was for D&D, and it had these really good stats, but you couldn't actually wield it. You could just carry around a painting of it, and like other people could roll a D10, and they had a 50 chance of making a perfect copy of it.
Nice.
It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But, yeah, I think that about wraps it up, my brother.
So let me ask you this. One last question before we go. If you could, with impunity, slap anyone on the planet, who would you pick? You get to slap the shit out of them and they're not allowed to retaliate.
Holy shit, that's a good question.
But you only get one.
Donald Trump.
No. I was thinking Trump myself.
Actually, yeah, no. I'm going to go with him. I'm going to go with him because I think that would be the most satisfying, although Machine Gun Kelly is a close second.
Yeah.
Just because he annoys the shit out of me. I could think of other people too. Who's that fat lady? That I don't even want to say her name, but you had commented on that. Well, I was like, why are people like this bitch famous?
Oh,
and she's just fat and obnoxious on YouTube. Yeah. She's a YouTuber, and now she's got like 2 kids, and they weren't going to reveal the kids' gender because they wanted to be gender neutral, but then they had a gender reveal party and all this weird shit. Like, I would slap that woman across the face. And I don't hit women, but I would slap her right across the face.
I still think I'd go with Zuckerberg just because A, he's ruined society with Facebook, and B, he just has a really fucking slappable face.
Do you think if MySpace would have stuck around, we'd be having the same conversation about Tom?
Maybe.
Like, I just feel like he was so much more. And maybe it's just because his fucking profile was everybody's first friend.
Yeah.
So like,
he seemed a little more personable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like you felt like if you messaged him, he might respond. Whereas Zuckerberg ain't fucking writing you back.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
But my thing about it is maybe not, because like who created Instagram and Twitter and all this stuff? Like you don't hear anything about them. So who knows?
I think that's because they don't own it anymore.
But I mean, they created it. Like Tom, I don't think owns MySpace anymore. Zuckerberg.
No, I know that, but Zuckerberg owns Facebook though. As well. I mean, like,
Zuckerberg's just a fucking evil person, anyways.
Actually, I think he owns Instagram now too.
Yeah, they own Instagram and something else. Now Musk, my understanding is Musk did not actually buy Twitter. He put in a purchase offer for $44 billion. I think he had to put $1 billion up front or something like that, and then he could wait. So I'm wondering almost if he did it knowing people would react poorly, and then he could short the stock or something and make money off of it. Like
something like that. Or I read a thing where like he was trying to back out and Twitter wasn't letting him legally back out.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a shit show.
I feel like it's some way he was trying to con the Twitter stock to make money off of it. So basically he's like, I'm going to do this knowing people would react poorly. Then he could back out and buy a shitload of the stock. When the stock goes back up, he makes even more money out of it.
I mean, it's just like when he like was making the price of crypto go up, and then he went on Saturday Night Live and made fun of it, and it tanked.
Yep.
I bet he sold all his crypto before he did that.
Oh yeah, he did that shit on purpose. They all do that. That's how these rich people stay. Like my buddy was telling me yesterday, he shared something on Facebook. It said the collective wealth of the wealthiest people in the world went up like $50 trillion over the pandemic. So the top 10 people in the world got most of that, whereas tens of millions of people fell into extreme poverty. So it's like, my solution is, let's Mad Max this bitch, make Thunderdome, collect all these cocksuckers up and make them fight to the death for our entertainment.
Eat the rich.
Yes.
Oh, man.
We have a problem with like tigers and lions and stuff in the wild. They can't find food, blah, blah, blah. There's a bunch of food for them right there. You take all these billionaires, drop them in lion pens and shit, make Joe Exotic in charge of it.
Now that would be a world to live in right there. Joe Exotic's in
Let's
charge.
make Joe Exotic president from prison. Like he can pardon himself and then he gets to go be president. He's going to legalize all kinds of cool shit like guns and owning tigers and gay marriage and crystal meth and all kinds of cool shit. What's funny is supposedly he's never really been into drugs. Like you read his memoir, he said he tried all that shit when he was younger and he didn't like the way it made him feel, so he never partook of it again. But he has a type of man, and they're all like these skinny, tattooed drug addicts, and he's the type of person that wants to please his partner to keep him around, so he would, let him do all this crazy shit because, he wanted him to be happy.
Fucking wild, dude.
Like the dude, like reading his book, I'm sure it's not all 100% accurate. I'm sure there's a little bit of liberties taken in the story, but he seems like he's a genuinely honest, caring person that just kind of had a huge personality, and some people railroaded him, taking advantage of it to make themselves be in a better position. So hate it for him, but at the same time, like if that's how you act, that's the risk you take, I guess.
And speaking of, next week, sir, I'm going to request that you bring on your Joe Exotic letter and read it, because we never did get around to that.
Yeah, I got to do that.
All right, then. Let's go through the housekeeping, and then we can get on out of here, my good sir. If you would like to send us an email, which, by the way, we got an email that we won't touch on quite yet, but it is interesting, and we will possibly report back. I
don't want to reveal what it is, but I will say we got offered to do a product review on the show, and I'm interested in what the listeners think of it. This particular product, it will be a very, very fun topic to review, I think. But I don't know if I emailed them back. I'm waiting to hear back from them as far as like if they're trying to do a sponsorship, if they wanted advertisement, or they literally just wanted to send us some product and have us give an honest review. Because personally, I feel like Dalton agrees with me here. I'm not going to shill something that I don't think is a good product. So I will do an honest review. If we get it and it's shit, I'm going to say it's shit. I don't like it. I'm not going to be like, since they, paid us money or gave us free product, I'm going to talk favorably about something. I'm going to be honest about it because that's who I am. But let us know if that's something you'd be interested in, us doing product reviews. Because we could even do, like, not just from companies. We could just pick random products that we both have and review them. Candy bars or any kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, that could be fun. So please let us know for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But we could like the... Oh, go ahead.
If we get enough donations, maybe we'll do an episode of like that one chip challenge where we both eat that one chip and then just record us hacking and throwing up and shit for 30 minutes.
That'll be the first video on the Yazpod Patreon. Yeah. Maybe. Whenever we decide
us dying
to do
from eating super hot chips. Dude, speaking of, there's some at Walmart. What's their Great Value or whatever their brand is?
Yeah.
Like 90-cent bag of chips, like the big family size bag. It's like a red bag, and it's like basically their version of flaming hot potato chips. And when you open the bag and take the chip out, this chip is, I'm not lying to you, fucking red. Like Ferrari red. I ate one of those motherfuckers, and I was like, holy shit. It was one of the hottest things I'd ever eaten in my life. Like, I kept the bag just to, like, give chips to other people and be like, try this chip.
I have a bag of... I think they're Utz brand, but they're like the red hot chips, and they're red. Those things are so fucking good, dude. I love spicy food. Eric from Factory Sealed, I saw him one time talking about, I think it was Cody who actually asked us the question, floats or shakes. When they did their last get together thing, he brought the Paki. I don't know how to say that word. The ones who do the ghost, or the ones that do the one chip challenge.
Yeah,
they have like regular bags of ghost pepper chips that you can get.
Oh, yeah.
And they're delicious, but they are fucking hot, son. And apparently Eric was like, those things are fucking Satan chips.
Dude, I never told you my experience with ghost peppers.
No, please go ahead.
I was dating this girl, and we go to a like Applebee's or Chili's or something for dinner, right? She orders chicken wings, and she's like, I want the spiciest you have. And so the guy brings it to her, right? And she's eating it. She's like dipping the wings. And she's like, this is not super spicy. And the waiter comes over and is like, how is everything? And she was like, man, she's like, I was really hoping this would be a little spicier. And this motherfucker, I'm not lying to you, like he's fucking dealing drugs. He like looks back and forth. He's like, I got something in my car if you want to try it. And he's like, it's way spicier. He's like, it's like dried ghost pepper. And she's like, I mean, like, he's acting like he's like, oh, I got some PCP in my car. You want some? And she was like, I'll try it. So he's like, okay. He like goes out to his car, comes back, like goes in the back, gets what's it called, a ramekin, the little bowls.
Yeah. Like
full of this like ghost pepper flakes. Looks like red pepper you get at like Pizza Hut. She dumps it in the sauce she has. And I'm talking about, this was like half a ramekin full. Dumps it in and like mixes it up. I don't do like wings and sauce and shit. So she like takes a bite of it and it's like, it's not really that hot. Because I don't know if you mix ghost pepper with stuff, it takes a little bit to build up in your system. Me being the fucking idiot I am, I went, licked my pinky and like ran it in the bowl and just did this. And just touched the tip of my tongue with the ghost pepper flakes on my pinky. It literally felt like I took a Bic lighter and like lit it and held it for like 5 minutes, got that metal real nice and hot and just stuck it to my tongue. That's how hot that shit was. I was like, oh my fucking God. Like I start like chugging my drink. Like the waiter comes over, I'm like, more drink. And I'm just sitting there chugging. She's eating her wings, it starts hitting her, and she's starting to have the same reaction, but since she's eating, her whole mouth is burning like that. And she's just like, oh my God. She's like, bring me ranch or something, like I need like something. And the dude was like just fucking grinning because he knew what he had done.
Yeah.
And like, dude, it's just the funniest. Like it finally stopped burning, and I was like, oh my God, I'm never doing that shit again. And like, dude, the guy, like we gave him a good tip because he was super cool about it and stuff. And like, but dude, it wasn't even like spice. It was just like like it was fucking fire. Like I put a fire on the tip of my tongue and just let it burn.
I know all too well that feeling. When me and my dad were in New York, we went to Chelsea Market, which is like a big indoor market in New York City.
Oh yeah.
And there's this little area where they sold like fancy different kinds of olive oils where you could get like pomegranate infused olive oils and stuff like that. Well, they had all kinds of different salt. And one of the ones they had was ghost pepper salt. So I did the little thing and got a pile of it in my hand. And I went over to my dad because my dad likes spicy food like me. And I said, hey, man, this is ghost pepper salt. Let's each take a pinch and throw it in our mouths and see what it's like. He goes, all right. So we each took a pinch of it, dropped it in our mouths. We swirl it around. We're like, that's pretty good. Holy shit. Yep. And our mouths were immediately on fire. And we went over right next to this place was a fucking like a little microbrew beer place where you could get beer. And we went over there immediately and we're just like, yeah, we need beer. It was brilliant. I'm like, dude, I bet that beer place makes so much money off people trying this salt and stuff and getting thirsty. Walk over, get a beer. The
beer place is probably paying for the ghost pepper salt for them to sell. Because you're not selling any of that shit. People are only going to taste it. You'll sell a bottle to somebody who wants to fuck their friends over later on.
Yeah. I almost got some to bring home and be like, hey, you should try this to people. Give them a pinch of it. It's just salt. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I remember my buddy Leo, old Lenny. I had it. It's gone now, but I had this hot sauce called Gator Death Roll. Oh, and at the hot sauce place in St. Augustine, it was an 8 out of 10 on the hot scale. And he was like, yeah, I like hot sauce. It's not that bad. You know. And so I dipped a toothpick in that motherfucker and just handed it to him. Yep. And he sucked the toothpick off. And he sat there and he's like, yeah, it's not so bad. About a minute goes by. His leg starts bouncing a little bit. Yo, Dalton, can I get a Coke? Yeah, man, sure. He goes over and he gets a Diet Pepsi. He ain't gonna fucking do all jack shit of helping him. He cracked that motherfucker open and downed the entire fucking thing. And I was like, you want some milk? Yeah, I'll take some milk. I gave him a glass of milk, and then he started calming down. But I was like, yeah, don't fucking tell me. Yeah, I like hot sauce because I'm going to give you the hottest shit I got. Yep. Like every time.
Dude, my uncle made some chicken wings one time for a party and put some, I forget what it was, but some crazy shit on it. So nobody ate them at the party. So they had some stray cats were getting in their garbage cans. So he set the plate of chicken wings out by the garbage cans and the stray cats never came back.
I bet. I remember my buddy Josh and his buddy Mikey. So at the time I was hanging out with Josh's younger brother. Anyway, they were making chili and they put a bunch of Da Bomb in it.
Oh yeah.
Now I don't know if you've ever watched Hot Ones. But Da Bomb is really fucking hot and tastes like chemicals. Like it's not a good hot sauce. It's just really fucking hot. And they put a bunch of it in there into the chili. And that stuff started cooking. And like, you know that smell you get when chili's cooking? You're like, like you could smell this. No, dude, it was like, oh, that is like pepper spray. We had to leave the house because you couldn't go in there without your eyes burning and just your lungs burning from breathing it. It was bad, bro.
So it was bad. I'm going to go ahead and put it out without even asking Dalton. Let us know in Facebook, email, Discord, whatever. If we can raise $1,000, we will live stream Dalton and I doing a 1-chip challenge with no drink. We'll eat the chip and just sit there.
$1,000.
$1,000. Dude, if I'm going to do that shit, I need to pay some bills off.
That's fair.
Like, that's dude, fair. And there's no time like time limit on it. Like, if we can raise $1,000, we'll do a video. Yeah,
be 10 years from now, somebody's gonna be like, "Hey, by the way,
you're at $999.98. Here, I'm gonna donate 2 cents."
I know, because it would be like there would be like $950, and there'd be like $50 left, and Nate would be like, no, yeah, that would be funny. And he would just donate $50 and then just sit back and watch us suffer.
I mean, we will do it live stream. We will do it. We'll set a time limit. We can't drink anything for like 5 minutes after eating it or something, and just have to sit there and suffer.
Well, yeah, okay. Because with your stomach stuff, I was gonna say I think we should do the 1-chip challenge at like $250, and if we had 1,000, do like a Reaper. Or we have to eat a Reaper, but that might fuck you up completely.
That would probably fuck me up. I don't know if I could do that.
Eating a Reaper. But yeah, if you want to send us an email, if you want to ask us a question or what,
let us know what number you think is the right number for us to make that video. Because we're going to fucking suffer doing that.
But be reasonable.
Yeah, be reasonable. $20 ain't cutting it.
But yeah, you can contact us, yetanotherbspod@gmail.com. If you want to ask us a question and remain anonymous, or you just don't have social media, you can hit us up there. If you do have social media, you can find us at facebook.com/groups/yetanotherbspodcast. You can also find us over on Twitter at YabsPod, YABSPOD. And you can find Jeremy at Just Call Me Jezza. And you can find me at Super Nerd Dalton. And if you would like to check out our show notes that I try to at least put our songs of the week in. So to give you an easy place to find them, it's yabspod.wordpress.com. And if you like the sound of my voice and you want to hear me talk more shit about other things, I do the Steam Machine podcast with Nate and Willie. And then I also do the JRPG Report, which is a weekly JRPG news show. And Steam Machine Podcast is a PC gaming podcast where we play through my enormous backlog. And since you plugged it last week, I'll plug it this week. If you want to go to nilethenightmare.bandcamp.com, if you like our show music and stuff, I made that. I make other electronic music. Please go buy some albums, because since I'm out of work at the moment, anything helps me keep the lights on. So that would be sweet. And I was working on some new music. I might end this week's episode with one of the songs that I'm working on for the new album. So that'll be fun. I don't know which one to do, though. I don't know. I had two. I have The City of Wind and Stars, and then I have Gordam Freeman Sloppy Toppy.
There was a song. I've got to think of it. I was going to be like, Dalton, you need to do a metal cover of this song, but now I can't remember it. If I figure it out, I'll send you a message. Please do,
because I love doing metal covers. They're fun. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. For Jeremy, I think, for Jeremy, I'm not even there yet. I think that about wraps it up, my brother. So, thank you all for listening. Thank you for downloading. Please go leave a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. That does help us out a lot. And for Jeremy, I'm Dalton. And as always, guys,
see you later.
Take it easy.